This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em a shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in.
What up? What up? What?
Can't hear you, Phil.
Can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you, bro.
Rookie mistake. I hit that
There we
mute
go.
button. Woo! What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Phil Porto, aka Phil All Caps, host of the Knicks Nightcap, with my two guys, Al from Harlem and Mr. Apollo Reed, guard up Knicks himself. And
Yo.
guys, I am ecstatic because I know that there is so much that we have to talk about right now when it comes to these New York Knicks, and so much that like we have seen that as Knicks fans, it's hard to actually believe that this is happening. Like, it's actually hard to believe that what we're seeing is real. And it's crazy because like we've all been fans for so long. And now we're actually being able to see the fruit of our team, see the fruit of what we're doing. And so I'm ecstatic. We're going to have so many topics to talk about. We will be chopping it up with Pursuit Spirits today, one of my favorite whiskey brands. You guys will see a familiar face because he's been on the show before. He's hanging out backstage right now, but when we bring him up after he gets everything set up, I'm excited to have them on again because there's some memories from the last time we had him up here that I want us to kind of go through, you know, once he gets up here, some things to remember of what happened last episode. Just in case you guys or Tim forgot, I keep receipts. So I'm excited to, you know, rehash some of those conversations. But without further ado, how you doing, my guy, Apollo Reed?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I you know, had a good little vacation, nice little reset for my wife's birthday, and then you know, got back to watch my Knicks demolish the Sixers.
Yes, sir.
In a sweeping fashion. So yeah, man, I couldn't be better right now.
I love it. I love it. How you doing, Al? How's it going?
Maxing and relaxing, man. Just maxing and relaxing right now. We went up to Orlando for Mother's Day, so it was like a little mini getaway. We stayed at a little resort, did a little pool action. I got a little tan going.
Very nice, very nice.
Came back and been having a long, stressful week at work, so I've been waiting for Thursday so I can enjoy me some good pours. So super excited for Pursue Spirits. I've never had it before, so this will be my first time trying it, and I am stoked. Can't wait.
Yeah. I was excited to have them back, and you know, you bringing that up is very important on why we've brought Pursuit back. One of them, obviously, you weren't here, but also we don't bring a lot of brands back in the same season because there's so many brands that, you know, we've connected with through the show and also through, you know, my content on social media. So we try not to, you know, have a brand on. But for me, I'm excited because this is a brand that I love, but also, you know, through the last episode and just through like communication with my guy, Tim, over these last few months, like he's become more than just a media, you know, content creator or a representative of Pursuit. He's become like a friend and someone that we have really good, challenging conversations with one another, lifting homie up through prayer, you know, throughout these last few months and just kind of walking, you know, with each other on some things. So he's just been a standout dude. And so the opportunity to showcase some of the new stuff that they're doing and also just have a good friend back on the show is something I'm delighted in. But first, we're going to talk Knicks, like we said, just to get everybody in the chat here feeling it. Shout out to my guy, Lee Escobedo, the Latin assassin in the chat. My guy, Prezi, the boss, is here. Before we go into anything, I want to showcase this real quick. And I'm going to do this like 5 times throughout the episode because we're ecstatic on this. Myself and Jay Ellis, we've really been working hard at trying to put out some merch now under the KOT brand, under the style that Jay had drawn back in the day, and now me, using some of my graphic design stuff to kind of put out some stuff that says who we are. So with me and Jay partnering, we released this shirt just the other day, and there's a promo sale going on through this week. So this is the shirt right here. It's the Payback is a Mitch, showing, Joel Embiid getting destroyed by Mitchell Robinson, and just reminding people that this guy is nothing to be messed with. This guy is someone who came back and he did everything that we needed him and wanted him to do and more. So we're ecstatic to have this as one of our first shirts, because we've all had like different opinions through the years of what to do with Mitchell Robinson. But none of us have, like, at this point, there's none of us that are in disagreement when we say bring him back. If it has to do with anything else but bringing Mitch back, we can't have that. So posting the link right there. Do us a favor, cop a shirt, use the promo code SWEEP to be able to get, I think, 12% off, which makes sure that you have free shipping and more. So make sure to use that code SWEEP, pick up this shirt. We have it in black, we have it in white, we have it in a thick tee, and we have it in a loose tee. If you like a little bit lighter weight, more of a I'm skinny, that's not me kind of shirt. And then also we got a hoodie that has the giant KOT logo in the front and this in the back. So do us a favor and pick one up of those. We would truly appreciate the support. We don't ask you guys to donate money on episodes, but this actually helps us. So right there, Mitch baptized JoJo. Facts. So let's put that shirt and show everybody what we think. But guys, since the last time we talked, the New York Knicks, for the second year in a row, have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and this time with a sweep. A sweep, not a gentleman's sweep, but 4 games back-to-back, destroying the 76ers and doing it in their arena to close it out, and out chanting and out supporting the New York Knicks. Out supporting all the 76ers fans, and the videos were beautiful and hilarious. So shout out to all the Knicks that traveled. Shout out to Joel Embiid for being a fool and saying that it was only going to be Sixers fans there because no Knicks fans were going to be able to buy tickets. That didn't happen. But what was your guys' thoughts on those last 2 games? Especially that last one. We actually sat our starters again. Like, they waved the white flag again. So what was your thoughts, Al? How excited were you as a Knicks fan?
Man, now in my old age, I get nervous for every game, and I always think like Vegas has it out for us and they're going to give a win to Philly. And so I actually text my sister. I was like, man, I got a bad feeling we're going to lose this game today. And boy, was I wrong. Like, and part of me was like, maybe the Knicks have found, because I kept thinking, like, throughout the whole regular season, we were like, these guys don't have that killer instinct. And we were yearning for that the whole regular season, to see something like that. And then they showed that against the Hawks. And a little part of the back of my head was just like, maybe they might come out just the same exact way that they came out against the Hawks closing game. And so for them to close out two closeout games and win by like 30 plus in both of those games, it's something I've never seen before. And it's exactly the killer instinct that I have been looking for from the Knicks. And man, like, I couldn't be prouder, man. I've never witnessed this as a Knicks fan, and I've never felt like this as a Knicks fan. I don't know if you guys have, but I can't remember another time where we've closed out series and shut the door on opponents like this. This is incredible, and I think the Knicks they're reaching a championship level of basketball right now. This is really good basketball, man.
Yeah. So Apollo, I'm gonna throw it to you. But when Al says that we've reached a new level of basketball, like, we got to look at the scores before we throw it to you. So the first game was an absolute destroying. We brought that fire and that zeal that we had from that Hawk series, and we beat them 137-98, which you just hear that score and you're like, no, that can't be real. In a playoff game, like that was the score. And then the next game makes you go, oh, okay, this might change a little bit, because they came back on that game and we only beat them 102-108. So it makes you go, okay, now this is where the competition's going to come. But then we beat them 108-94. Shows, okay, 14-point win, not bad. But then we finish it the way that we started it, 144-114, to end their season, to end what might have been the last game that you see Joel Embiid in a 76ers jersey. And all of that came to a halt. So we have a lot to be celebratory about, because it's not just that we won, it's how we won. So, Apollo, what were your thoughts on those last two games?
I mean, it's so we back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. To even say that just sounds crazy as a Knicks fan, right?
Facts.
But this is a whole lot different than last year, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's last year there was the excitement, we made the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, now there's like okay, so we've been here before kind of feeling. But you can't deny the excitement of how we're finishing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like last year where it was kind of like a struggle. Even the games that we won last year in the playoffs, like versus the Celtics, and the Pistons, it was like a struggle. You know what I mean? Like, it was a struggle. Like, it didn't feel like we had a hold on the game. It just felt like we had better players sometimes. And for the Celtics, I think I'll give Tibbs his credit for that one. But this year, like you said, to be able to close out a game and your starters aren't on the floor, in this kind of fashion, the highest point differential in, I think, playoff history, I think.
Yep.
Like, that's just outrageous, man. You know what I mean? So just to be able to witness it, and then you still have of course, the Knicks PTSD creeps in, like, all right, well, you still got to get to the finals, I mean, but I'm be honest with you, man. Like, it's the way this team is playing, they're building my confidence in them that they'll be able to handle, especially everyone in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different feeling than last year. And it just makes me feel like, all right, we might have something for the Thunder. We might actually have something for the Thunder. And that's something that I didn't think that earlier in this year that I wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah. And you look at it, and you're talking about how it's different than the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Mm-hmm. And it's not just different in the fact that I feel like we're playing better caliber teams right now. But we're playing at a different style of basketball than we've ever seen the Knicks play since the 90s. Like, in the 2000 era, you have not seen this style of basketball from the New York Knicks at all. Yeah. And I remember someone texting me and going, or mentioning in a comment or something to me, they were like, bro, like, you got to also give Mike Brown credit, because this is kind of things that he's now implementing Golden State Warrior type stuff from when he was there. And I said, yes. And I give him that credit. I've been giving him that credit. But the reason I give it to the players as well so much right now, giving flowers, is because I've always said, you can't just blame the coach if something's going wrong, just like you can't just celebrate the players if something's going right. Because Mike Brown can lead a horse to water. He can bring the players and say, this is where I want to get us to. But if the players never allow themselves to do that, and they buck up against it, and they choose not to drink, you can't, like, make that work. He can't force you to play that style of basketball that he was bringing to the Knicks. And now that the players and the coach are on one accord in this is how we can win. And I think, that one game where we ran it through Karl Anthony Towns really set the trajectory of what the rest of the playoffs could look like. And you see that now. And this, what's also different is we are not saying the same two names over and over about who our players of the game were, because that's not true. In that Hawks series, you're giving OG the praise. You're giving Karl Anthony Towns the praise. You're giving Mitchell Robinson praise for his defense. And in this series, you have to go Mikal Bridges. What?
Yep.
Like, where did you come from? Your defense was decent in the first series, but now you're driving to the basket. You're willing to get contact. You're willing to dive for balls. You're blocking things. You're stealing things. Like, you're contributing on the movement assists. Like, everything from Mikal was night and day. So you have to give credit there. Jalen Brunson did great in game 3. Like that. Like he was the player of the game in game 3. Karl Anthony Towns kind of disappeared in game 3, and it was Jalen Brunson who rose to the occasion. And game 4, this was also a hard game for Karl Anthony Towns. Like, both games, like, this series was rough for him. A lot of fouls, a lot of time on the bench. You know, a lot of fouls and a lot of time on the bench. And so you look and you go, okay, well, Jalen went off, but what are the chances they're going to let him do that again? Well, it didn't need to happen. Why? Because Deuce McBride rose out of the ashes and was our player of the game with 25 points, but not just 25 points, but 7 of 10 from the field. So 70% and 77.8% from 3. Like, those are ridiculous numbers. You can say 77.8% from 3 when you're shooting 2 or 3 3-pointers. But this dude shot 9 3-pointers and got 7 of them to fall beautifully. So that is something for us to celebrate. That's something for us to go, holy cow, all of our players are clicking. Landry Shamet came out of nowhere and started contributing from shooting, to defense, to assists. Like, everything we needed to happen to make us actual contenders in the finals has now come to fruition. Everything that us Knicks fans have been waiting for, we are actually watching, guys. And I look at OKC in the playoffs and I go, oh yeah, we can eat. Like, we could take this. Like,
Mikal Bridges shot 5 free throws in game 3.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, 5 in one game.
I think he shot 5 all season.
Yeah, for real.
Like, that's why I was like, oh yeah, I think a switch was flipped for sure. And he said it himself. He said 0-0, play desperate, and that's the mentality that they've all been playing with ever since.
Yep. And
Saturday we did the KLC show after that Friday victory, and we spoke about Mikal Bridges, and I remembered after we went off air, we didn't even mention Jalen Brunson, and he had 33 points. That goes to show what you're saying, Phil, to your point, is like, it's not always Jalen Brunson anymore. It's like other guys are contributing in meaningful ways. And what's the one thing that I always said during the regular season? I said, all 5 guys need to be dangerous. Yep. And right now, they are all dangerous. So that's why we're clicking like this.
That's a fact. And I love this comment. Every player, head coach, assistant coach, owner, GM, scout, president, and medical staff need to be on the same page. And so you got to give credit where it's due, because even the medical staff, they have helped us realize when players are ready and when they're not. How many times have we seen other teams bring a player back that wasn't ready, and it caused more of an issue? Like, even with the OG thing right now, I'm not panicking because I know that they're doing what the wisest decision is for us. But in years past, I'd be like, what is happening with this player? Like, why is he out on the court? He shouldn't be. Or why isn't he out on the court? He should be. And so now I don't second guess the decisions that are being made by the front office, which is crazy words to come out of my mouth. Like, because I don't know the last time I could say that I didn't question the coaching staff or the medical staff or the front office decisions. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out. It's early right now in the show. We've been going for about 20 minutes. We have over 142 of you in the chat right now. So we appreciate you all being here. If you guys can, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are on our push to 10K subscribers by the end of this season. And I would love for you guys to be part of that. If you're watching on X or you're watching on Instagram or figured out how to get us live on TikTok now that StreamYard is allowing that, we are now live on TikTok as well. If you guys can, head on over to the YouTube. where it helps out with our numbers a little bit more and our monetization and all that stuff of growing the channel. But if you can, wherever you're watching from, retweet it, repost it on Instagram, share it on TikTok, share it on YouTube with your friends and your subscribers. Let's get as many people as we can in here to talk Knicks, chop it up with Pursuit Spirits in a few minutes, and talk about all the other things that are going on. But I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. Like I said, my guy Lee Escobedo, honestly, like, love this dude.
What up, Lee?
If you guys have not watched, Lee did something really, really awesome, and he had an interview with Al and Ra the other day talking about their show and what it's all about and their friendship and their, loyalty to the Knicks and everything like that. It was a great, great episode. So head over to the channel and watch that. Shout out to Prezi the Boss. Shout out to my guy Kareem Grant. What up, OG? Appreciate you being here. Right here. Check out that interview, like I said. And he also said, y'all better cop a shirt. So listen to Lee. That man knows what he's talking about. All right. Salute, cool cats. This is G Money. What up, G Money? I haven't talked to you in a minute. What up, bro? Good to see you in the chat. Finally over here at the KOT Network, where you should be supporting. Shout out right here to my guy Fritz, the moderator of all moderators in the building. I want to give a shout out to Fritz. We have a watch party that I'm putting on with my guy Al's coming and going to co-host it with me and MC it. And we're doing it here in Tampa. And we're, getting some sponsors to donate some stuff so we can do some raffles and whatnot. And my guy Fritz was like, yo, I got you. I'm going to send you some, Jalen Brunson bobbleheads from Funko Pops. And I was like, yo, bro, those are fire. So thank you to Fritz for always contributing to other people in the network. Shout out right here.
Hey, that's my cousin Nando Love.
What up, Nando? Appreciate you. Where's Nando out of?
He's in Miami.
All right, Nando. That means for the watch party, you got to take a little drive, Papa. All right, pull up. Papa. All right, first drink is on me and Al. All right,
That's right.
First drink's on me and Al. All right, it's got to be all family in the building. See, like he said, Tatum was back too early. I agree. It wasn't that's great. So shout out to Agent Super Orange 502. I want to know what that name's all about. Like, hit me up in the chat. I really want to know what that name's all about, bro. So appreciate all of you guys being here. A few more minutes, and then we're gonna bring up Pursuit Spirits. These guys right here.
Phil, you know what you were just talking about when you were saying you're not gonna second guess like the anything anymore. I was thinking the same exact thing. I was like, yo, I'm going to pause all of that stuff because they have bought themselves like leeway, like the benefit of the doubt, right? So like, for example, to bring it home for you, if we start off next series 1-1 or like we have the home court advantage, but we go, it goes 1-1, right? We lose one at home. I'm not panicking. This team has shown that they can respond in the face of adversity, and the coaching staff has shown that they know how to push the right buttons and make the right adjustments. And so I'll be looking for like what they should do, what they should pivot to, but I'm not going to be calling for anyone's job or anything like that. Like that's I'm done with that part. Like I'm all in with the Knicks, and I believe in this group that we have.
Yeah, I agree. Apollo, what's your thought on where we're at right now as like a team? Like, I know it exceeds all of our expectations, but do you think there's a ceiling? Because right now it's hard for me to think that there's still not more that this team is going to show us in the playoffs. Like, I've had my doubts at first, but I don't understand now why I understand why I had those doubts, but I'm thankful that the team has proven me wrong with the moves that they have made in the playoffs. Like they surpassed the things that I had asked of them. So what are your thoughts? Yep. Do you think there's a ceiling? Do you think that there's still more that we're going to see that's going to wow us? Do you think we're going to hit a roadblock? What do you think?
I mean, I think this just opens the door. You know what I mean? I think this cat is, I think he has 56 assists so far in the playoffs. I think he had only 20 something last year. This is just the beginning in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think there's so much more that can happen. I think that it doesn't just open up opportunities for Cat. I think the more you move away from making Jalen the sole creator of everything, you find out much more opportunities for other things that can happen off ball. You know what I mean? So taking Jalen off ball and putting Cat on the ball and putting him in situations where you're running flex screens and things like that off the ball, that just opens opportunities for you to do that with other people. And, you know, there's just more mismatches the more you're able to do that. And I think that's what kind of made, and it's kind of similar to what I saw with the Warriors offense when, you know, when they were on their way up. You know, it's you started to see a lot of different ways that they ran their offense, and it just, as time went on, they became more and more and more unguardable. You know, the players didn't really change too much. It's just the schemes, the offensive schemes change once you took the ball out of just being a Stephen Curry led offense. And I think that's kind of what you're starting to see now. So I think it's just the beginning. Honestly, I think there's another, I think there is a ceiling, but I don't think we've seen it yet, honestly.
Yeah. So I'll ask you, to the people in the series, in the season, who doubted the hiring of Mike Brown, one of them being your co-host, who is going to buy a jersey at the end of the series. What would you say, like, about things taking time, about, you know, players also needing to buy into, you know, something, and your thoughts on how he's done this season in his first year as the Knicks coach?
Well, that's one of the things that I tried to get people to understand when he became the coach. Like when he was announced as the coach, a lot of people immediately were like, oh, he's never won anything as a head coach. He's never done this. He's never done that. And I'm like, hold on. Like, you understand, like, just because you haven't won doesn't mean that you can't win. Like, experience is the best teacher. And those lumps that he's taken as a head coach and that experience that he's had winning championships as an assistant coach is molding him to be a better coach now, right? Like, he should be better now with all these experiences than he was then, right? So, like, when people weren't putting that together, that never made sense to me, because that's just not how life works. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way life works. You go through life, you take your losses, you have these experiences, and you come out better on the other side of it. So I expected him to be better coming out of those situations. Secondly, in terms of how long it took for the players to, like, figure his system out, you got to understand, Mike Brown never coached any of these guys on the roster. He didn't pick any of these guys on the roster. A lot of them some of them don't even fit the style of play that he wants to play. Like, he wants to play fast. So he used to have De'Aaron Fox. Now he has Jalen Brunson. He's not the fastest point guard out there. He actually slows down the tempo quite a bit. Mm-hmm. He wanted to play fast. Because of Brunson, we actually didn't achieve his goals in terms of tempo, right? You saw in the beginning of the year, he had a lot of friction with how to coach Cat. He was calling him out in the media, and Cat is sensitive to that, and he wasn't responding well to that. But that only happens because he's brand new to this team. He doesn't know how to coach these guys up, whereas Tibbs was with these guys a little bit longer, and he knew how to push their buttons and get the most out of them. So that stuff takes time, right? And then building that trust together, the players were probably still figuring out how to build trust with him. What can they go to him with? Like, what can they go tell him? What do they feel comfortable going to tell him and saying, hey, like, we shouldn't do this that way? Like, maybe they were just like, yo, I'm gonna be the company man, and I'm gonna do things your way, even though I don't agree with it. And so they did a lot of that. And then later on down in the season, eventually they were like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to tell you, coach, like, we shouldn't do it this way. And Mike Brown said that in some of his post games, in one of his post games recently, that players came to him, and he said like like, it wasn't just his coaching staff that came to him with adjustments. Like, players came to him and told him, like, we shouldn't, like, the one thing was about practice. Like, he was practicing too much, and players came to him and was like, yo, this is not sustainable. We got to stop practicing so much. And kudos to Mike Brown for listening, right? Mm-hmm. So all this stuff takes time, and that's why when we were down 2-1 and people wanted to fire Mike Brown, when we were down 2-1 to the Hawks and people wanted to fire Mike Brown, I was always like, yo, like, 3 coaches in 3 years. Like, that's not good. Like, all that volatility is not good. Like, you have to have consistency to build something. All the teams that are achieving anything is not like a team that they just bought a bunch of free agents and in the first year they win in the chip. No, those teams stay together years after year after year, building chemistry. And so that's the thing that I wanted to like make sure, like I always preach to people. And look, it's finally coming to fruition. It took a long time. These things take time, but thank God they're hitting their stride at the right time, man. A lot of winning championships happens like by getting hot at the right time. Like it happens in football all the time, right? It happens in baseball all the time. And right now, the Knicks are on a 7-game win streak in the playoffs. Like, talk about getting hot at the right time. Like, this is what I'm talking about right here. So the Knicks, they can't, no complaints here, man.
So I'm about to bring up my guy Tim, but before I do, my guy G Money, he's a numbers dude, so I love some of these things that he's been putting in the chat. Shout out to G Money. Like I said, if you guys can hit that repost, hit that relink, reshare everything. We have 180. Well, no, keeps on going. We got over 189 of you in the chat right now, watching live. So we appreciate you guys. Let's get that number to about 250, 300 live. But this is a great stat. We have a plus 194 point differential in the playoffs so far, which is crazy. And then here, right now, we are second in the playoffs, scoring with 120 points per game.
He meant to put 101. He meant to put 101, I think. Oh no, that's the other part. Part. My bad.
This one is us scoring 120 points per game.
That's insane.
That's what we're averaging. And then the second one was we are second in opponents scoring, only giving up 101 point average.
That's beautiful.
Which is second in the league. And honestly, like I think it's also, the fact that we've been able to have our guys sit in that bench unit in that fourth quarter, which has allowed them to score a little bit more because it's just some of our bench guys playing, and I'm fine with that. So I'm excited. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up my guy, Tim from Pursuit Spirits. Like I said, he's become a friend. And like I said before, I love this freaking brand. It is one of my favorite brands out there making delicious craft whiskey. They recently had another one that dropped that we get to try today. Some changes as well within the brand. And so I'm going to bring him on, talk Knicks, drink, talk Knicks, drink, talk Knicks, drink. We don't have to go through the whole like, hey, this is who the brand is. We've done that before. Apollo was there. Al, you weren't. Rewatch the episode, bro. That you show up late to the party, they don't rewind the soundtrack. Like, hey DJ, start over. That doesn't happen. Listen to the playlist later. But we're gonna bring up Tim and we're gonna hang out. And I'm excited because, like I said, some of the stuff that we're gonna show you guys today is absolutely incredible. So without further ado, this is my guy Tim.
Yo.
What up, big dog?
Can you throw that shirt up on the screen again real quick?
Oh, yeah. Booyaka. Where's it at? Boom.
That is, I don't even know what's going on, and I think that's dope. I need to give me one of those shirts, man. I wanted to shout that out. That's dope, dude. Yeah, shoot me that link. I want to get that. That's cool. How y'all doing, boys?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Good to have you back. So before we go into some Pursuit stuff, I want to give Al a little rundown of something that happened on the last show, and remind our viewers of something that happened on the last show. So you guys see this hat right here?
I got my ass handed to me.
Yeah. So what happened
give him the full version.
Tim's not like a huge basketball guy, okay? But we had another guest on with us. Another guest, my guy, Lee Escobedo, he said, yo, love your swag, Tim. He loves the vibe. So, and it's funny that you do this because every time Lee, who just said that, gets on one of our shows. He's like, "Hey!" every single time.
Every single time.
It's like, holy crap, these guys are related. He said you have elite style. So anyway, so Tim's on the show. We're hanging out, we're drinking, but also it was an enemy territory episode where my guy New England Whiskey, who's a content creator, was on the episode. He's a Celtics fan, okay? And it's before we play the Celtics. And I just told him how in the first episode of the season, we had a Cavalier fan on, and him and I made a wager of who would win the first game between the Cavs and the Knicks. And whoever lost had to buy each other a really delicious bottle. And so the Knicks won. So that guy sent me a bottle. And so I asked Mr. New England Whiskey, I was like, you're talking a lot of smack about your Knicks right now. I mean, about my Knicks right now. And I know we're going to put belt to behind. So let's wager. If you are as confident as my guy Sherpaul was, why don't we wager? And he was like, all right, bet. So he bet on the Celtics, had to send me top-notch elite sample kit. Well, this guy right here wanted to get all mouthy before he headed out. And he said, you know what? Whatever. I don't even care about the Celtics, but forget the Knicks. And he's like, I'm a bet against the Knicks too, and I'll put up a whole sample package. And I was like,
you sure I think I remember that now.
And he said, yeah. So you see this, guys? All right. This is what losing a bet to Phil Porto looks like. All right. It's a care package of 6 elite whiskeys and a Glencairn.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
He did a great job.
Man of his word. Man of his word.
Manned up, and the pours were delicious. So I got to give him a shout out to that. But it was really funny to think about that. And I wore this hat because this was the hat that he was like, and I'll send it to you with, your package. And I was like, bet. So shout out to Tim for being a man of his word and coming through. But for those of you guys,
the truth is I like talking trash, and I'm a gambling degenerate. So I was like, this is a win for me both ways. Like I had to do it.
Hey, and it ended up being a win for me. I love it.
There you go. Absolutely. Everybody won.
Yeah, everybody won.
So if you guys were on that episode, okay, and Tim, I'm gonna give you some leeway here.
Yeah, man.
We had a pour on that episode that to me ended up being, because this was early in the season, so it was still 2025. This bottle that we sampled on the episode, okay, this triple mash rye, it actually ended up being on my top 5 pours of 2025. Okay, so nice. I think this came in as like number 2 out of all the samples that I had all year. All the brands that
that's high praise.
Like that was a lot, and so I pushed that bottle all episode. I pushed it through social media, but now you'll see that triple mash rye is no longer called triple mash rye. It's called triple batch rye. So I wanted to let anybody on the episode that watched last time that's like, what happened to the triple mash rye, or what is this? This is the same bottle. This is the 2026 release, but the name has changed. I don't want to put you out there on Front Street because I don't know what can be shared, what can't. But if there's anything you want to tell people about like the name change or anything like that, let them know, because I want them to know that it's still the same delicious juice that we had last time.
Yeah, so across the board, we had 2 name changes. So for our 88, our 108, which is a distillery exclusive, and our cash strength, it moved from triple mash to triple batch. Brown-Forman owns the rights to the name triple mash whatever. They use that on their Jack Daniels brand. So long story short, Pursuit got a cease and desist, and we don't have the money to go to battle. And we would lose anyway, since it was trademarked longer than we've had that on the bottle. We didn't think it would be an issue. They thought it was, so we had to change the name. And then the other name change is going to be on our double oak product. The name went from double oaked to double oak, and that was also Brown-Forman. And I get it. You own a name. You want to keep right on your name. You want to keep right on your trademark. That's cool. Still the same product, just a different name.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, what's crazy is like the whole time I've been in this, like I had no clue that they actually had those trademarks because I swore that I've seen double oaked on other
Yeah.
people's bottles and
You have.
it hasn't been an issue, you know? So like I found that really, really weird that all of a sudden they're making a fuss of something like that. But I guess, you know, when you have money and power and nothing to do, why not, right? You know,
I mean,
why
I
not?
don't even think it's that. I think it might be a little bit of ego, but it's, you know, you have something that's your brand, that's a call to your brand. And let's be honest, like Double Oak is exploding. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's brands that I'm not going to say are doing it better, but are standing out more than Brown Forman, you know, because Woodford essentially was the very first Double Oak
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
And so when that name comes off of someone's tongue, their mind goes somewhere else. So I think it's more so just kind of protecting a brand than anything. But
Yeah.
regardless, yeah, we don't have Brown Forman money. It's cool. We'll take it. We'll take it and roll with it. It's still cool. It's still the same great product. It's just no ED. It's oak, not oaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That makes
whatever.
sense.
People care about the juice, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
whatever.
Right, exactly.
So
Yep.
we're gonna go into the first pour, then talk a little more Knicks. Which first pour do you think we should start with out of the four?
I think it would be really cool if you guys start with the Melwood, and we'll roll from the Melwood into what Melwood tasted like before it got proofed. I could tell the whole story about that too.
Awesome.
This is batch 2 of Melwood. Batch 2 is almost 8 years old. It's really cool to see how this product has kind of grown and evolved over the last couple of years. When we first started with it, it started out as a little over 6-year product bottled in bond. Originally distilled at Rabbit Hole. It's a 78 1210 mash bill. It was super one-dimensional and essentially undrinkable at cask strength. Ryan, our master blender, is an evil genius, and he saw the vision of the product, and it got proofed to 100, and we released it as bonded. So you guys get to have it. You get to have the second release. I honestly think the second release is better than the first release, even though I'm a huge fan of the first release. And this is a steal. You get this at the distillery for $29.99. I think that's solid.
Yeah.
So you get to have almost an 8-year-old bonded product for $29.99. Like that's for me, that's a steal.
If you guys ever go to the distillery, I'm telling you guys, it's in downtown Louisville, and it's really, really awesome. The distillery only like releases are pretty awesome. This one right here, I got this summer, and I cherish it. This is a delicious little bottle right here. So
that's going away too. That's not going to exist anymore. I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 cases in existence, and then it's done.
So if you're near Kentucky, make sure to pick those up. They are absolutely delicious. So we'll go with this one and then this one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it backwards.
Yeah, don't drink the sample one I sent, because that'll blow you out of the water.
Yeah, I see 131. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Yep, let's slow our roll with that one. All right. So cheers. We're gonna drink this one while we talk Knicks, and then we'll go through sample notes of everybody's. That's so tame, but so like full of like. It's full of like different smells, but they're all very like relaxing. Like it's nothing that hits you and goes, you know, that's too much. Like it's just very chill. I'm excited for it. All right. So I will say at about 9 o'clock, my homegirl is officially coming up. B from the KOT show will be coming up and talking Knicks with us. I love her basketball takes, and I love the fact that she is absolutely in love with Mikal Bridges, and she stood by his side. She's been his ride or die even when he sucked. So shout out to B for that, and she'll be up on the episode next. But let's take this pour before we go into the next topic, boys.
I won't go into any specifics yet, but I think one of the things for me that I love about this the most is that it's super easy to drink and it's really flavorful. Like this is something you could hang out on your patio and drink and,
Yeah.
start out the night with. You drive around on your lawnmower, and it could be your lawnmower bourbon. It could be your poolside bourbon. Like, it's so versatile and light and flavorful. Like, it's, a lot of times you get into something, even around this proof point, and it kind of sits a little heavy. This is just light and flavorful. Like, it's like I said, super versatile whiskey.
Yeah. You know what I like about this? There's a lot of pours that like are sit down and talk about them pours,
Sure.
where it's like, but then there's some pours that are just like really good, like to have while you're talking about everything else, where it's like, you don't need to talk about the actual whiskey. Like, it's just good and you're just hanging out, enjoying it. I feel like that's what this bottle is. Like, it's not something that you have to sit down and break out. Like, what complexities are you getting? I feel like most people are going to get the same stuff on this. Like, you're going to get a little bit of rye spice. You're going to get a little bit of fruit and stone fruit, like some peach or something like that. Like, you're going to get a little bit of fruity, a little bit of, peppery, and that's it. Like, it's what you want in a simple bourbon. Something sweet, something peppery to balance it out, and then you just kind of coast through your conversation. So I think that this is what this is for me.
Yeah.
This is a great bottle and bond. So much flavor. It's your traditional, bourbon flavors, caramels, vanillas. But what I do pick up on this is I get like a little floral kind of notes coming out of this, like on the finish. It's really nice. And it's the first time I really tasted floral notes out of all the bourbons. Sometimes you don't taste things when, I guess, I don't know, you're not paying attention or you're not looking for it, but this is the first time I could say I finally I heard people say like I taste a floral note, and I was like, I never tasted that. But on this one, I finally tasted it, and it's really nice. Really nice.
You know what's really weird for me? As you're saying classic bourbon, like I actually get more like, I feel like this is more of a like weeded kind of bourbon sweetness, like, and then more of a rye spice type of rye, like spice that you're getting. So for me, it feels like if I blended a weeded with a like rye, like a bourbon drinker's rye, like is what I feel like this is to me. So
it has a nice complexity that most like bottle and bonds don't have. This is, and then for $29, like you can't. That's insane pricing. Like I'm definitely gonna order me a couple of them. Just I need that. Yeah, for sure.
These are stellar. Like, Apollo, what are you thinking?
So when we first started doing the show, rye was something that I was, not too fond of. But the more we get into it, it's something that I'm starting to appreciate a little bit more. But it has a good balance of the rye. And it's funny that the first thing that you said was peach. And that was the first thing that came to mind when I first tasted it. Because I'm like, I'm just tasting some kind of fruit. And I'm just like, I think it's peach. And I wanted to say it before you said it this way. I didn't want to sound like I got it from you. But it was between peach, and then I got also like a candy, like a butterscotch kind of candy taste to it as well. But
yeah,
the fruit really started to like overpowered at first for sure. But yeah, I really like this for sure.
I love it. Delicious.
I love that the floral note got brought up. Oh, that's cool. The floral note I get is actually honeysuckle, so that's cool. The fruit note that I get is strawberry. I think peach is definitely in there too. Once again, there's no wrong answers, but I love that you guys pulled out the fruit characteristic and the floral characteristic, because not that it's unheard of, but it's just cool, like when flavors or memories resonate with other people too. So I'm glad you guys like that. It's super cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, so we're gonna talk a little Knicks real quick, guys. Let's talk about some of the topics that we need to talk about, and I'm gonna wait on the topic of Mikal Bridges till B comes up. Because I want to honor her. I want to honor her love and affection for Bridges. But OG is set to return by game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. How important is it for us to have a healthy OG. Because you look at what we did against the 76ers and OG was out. Like, imagine seeing what we saw from OG in that Hawks series and early, in those things, being able to be there on top of what we saw in those last few games against the 76ers. I'll go to you first, Apollo. How important is OG Anunoby to this chip run that we're currently on?
Oh, super important. He's, in my opinion, our third best player, especially the way he's been playing recently. He's been taking a lot of the responsibility offensively, and that's something that he wasn't really able to do last year and even to start this year a little bit. But he's first of all, at certain points, he was our best player. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna sit here and try to beat around the bush. At certain points, he was our best player on on both ends of the floor. There was no one playing better than OG Anunoby on both ends of the floor. So he's super important to this title run. I think there was momentum that we had going into to end the series, and that allowed us to and there was a lot of tape, of course, but that allowed us to continue to win those two games. But I do think for this title run, we do need OG Anunoby. I don't think there's a question about that. The only thing that I'm worried about is the rhythm. Like, hopefully he can get back in rhythm fairly quickly, especially being that we had so many days off on top of the fact that he hasn't played in a while. So that's my only concern. But yeah, I think he's super important to what we got going on in order for us to win this championship.
Yeah. So two things you said, and then I'm gonna throw it to Al. You said he was our best player in some of this, and that is true in the season and in that first round of the playoffs. Like, he was our best player many times, during certain runs that we were on. And in that first series in the playoffs, like, him and Cat were battling for, the position of most valuable player in that series. So I think that that's very important for him to come back. But also, you're worried about him and the amount of games that he's been gone. I know it seems like a lot, but it's been about a week of no basketball for him. But what I want to remind everybody of that is worried about that is how much time he missed earlier in the season. And when he came back, he did not skip a beat. The first few games he was back, he had 20 plus points in those return games. So I think that's where you give it up to the medical staff again. Is I'm pretty sure OG probably could have played, earlier, come back in game 4, but they were wide.
If he needed him, yeah.
They did what was best so that when he comes back healthy. Al, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna disagree with you guys a little bit. I think it's clear we don't need OG, man. We just won by 30 points against the Sixers. Pack these guys up like. Nah, let me stop.
I'm gonna let you rock. I wasn't gonna say that. He got him out of here. He got him out of here.
We are taking auditions for the new co-host.
Hey,
there you go, Tim.
Hey,
Tim is right in the spot. There you go. Perfect.
It's official. Tim is no longer doing a whiskey tasting at 10 o'clock today. Now part of the show.
No, I'm kidding, man. Listen, I have the OG jersey. That guy, I call him the boogeyman because teams do not want to see him coming. He's going to lock up your best player. Trust me. Right now, Kay Cunningham is having nightmares about OG right now. Mm-hmm. And James Harden, he definitely don't want to see OG right now. Or Spider. They don't want to see OG. They hope that his hamstring is messed up. Like, this dude makes us reach our full potential. You always need a guy on your team that's going to stop the other team's best player. And he does that and more because he's also been scorching hot on the offensive end too. And he's doing it in a multitude of ways. He's scoring at the 3 different levels. He's getting a bunch of dunks at the rim. He's scorching hot from the 3. And he's actually evolved his pull-up game, his dribble through, his dribble moves and all that. The guy has evolved offensively. Like, he's like baby Kawhi right now, and he unlocks a lot for us. So we definitely need him for this playoff run for sure.
Yeah, it's so crazy because, like, you look at that Cavaliers and that Detroit series. And their defense is nothing compared to what the Knicks have been doing in these playoffs. And those teams are struggling to score on one another. Like, all of those games have been close. And we have been leaps and bounds better than both of those teams defensively throughout the playoffs and offensively. So imagine what it's going to look like against those teams. And we're going to have that topic of what team would you rather see? Who do you think is better? But one thing I want to talk about real quick before we go into the next pour, and shout out to everybody here. We got over 245 of you right now across all the channels. So let's keep it going. Let's keep growing it. Please keep pushing that on social media. Shout out to my guy Xavier pulling up. We were talking about, can't wait to see OG healthy in the series, and I can't either. I'm excited for it. I know that it's going to really set us apart, and it's going to really make it hard for those guys, because I'm not going to discredit the two teams that we could play, but I'm saying, looking at them in the playoffs so far, seeing the Pistons struggle against the Magic, and going as many games as it did, seeing Cleveland in the first round, now seeing them both in the second round, and I still have to go, I don't think they can compete with what we saw from the Knicks so far if we keep this up. Like, I just don't see it. Like, I'm already planning, a watch party for the finals, like, it's just something I got to do. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Once again, we got these shirts right now. Payback is a Mitch. Joel Embiid looking like a buster, and Mitchell Robinson stealing his lunch money underneath the basket was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So please pick one of these up right now at the KOT store. The Real Ham just asked us, and we'll answer this question before we go into the next pour. Are we rooting for the Spurs or OKC?
Spurs.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Only because we have, we've already proven that we can beat them. Like, what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's why I say Spurs.
Okay. What about you, Al?
But I'm not ducking OKC.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for anybody. I will have my Detroit Pistons pom-poms out tomorrow because I wanted to go to Game 7. But that's the most cheering that you'll see me doing. Part of me does think it would be cool if it would be the Spurs, because it'd be a Knicks Spurs rematch from 2000, and I want my lick back.
All right. So,
bad memories, man.
This is what I'm gonna say. When I think of either team, all I can think about is DMX. All right. So, in the beautiful words of DMX, I just love when just a bigger piece of cake for me to chew a hole through. I don't really care who we play in the finals, because I know that we can beat the Spurs based off of how we've done already in the season. But I also know that this new way of basketball that the Knicks have been playing in the playoffs can not only beat the Spurs, but set a precedence of what this team has really accomplished if we were to beat OKC. And so for me, I'll look at it as like even though Victor Wembanyama is like 7'13", even though he's ridiculous, like, when you look at those two teams, they see OKC as the Goliath. They see that as the Goliath. And for me, I'm like, man, all David needed was a slingshot and a rock. Like, give JB that same rock, and let's go for the giant. So we'll see. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. If you're in the chat right now, do me a favor. Let me know if you would rather see OKC or the Spurs when it comes to the finals. Which one would you guys rather see? Also, let us know, because we're going to talk about it in a bit, which team you would rather see in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavs or the Spurs. We're going to break that down shortly. We're about to have our next pour, and then I get to bring up one of the
Cavs and Pistons.
KOT. What happened?
No, it's the Cavs or Pistons. You said Cavs or Spurs. Cavs or
Oh yeah,
Pistons.
Cavs or Pistons. And
That's
then we
it.
get to bring up one of the queens of KOT, Miss Ball Talk herself, B, Sporty Spice. So I'm looking forward to chopping it up with her. Her coming on the show, graciously hanging out with us tonight. So Tim, what's next? What do we go with next?
I mean, you can kind of do a double thing. So like, if you want to pour a little bit of that unmarked one that I sent you, just so you can kind of see an idea of what I meant by it was one dimensional, and I don't want to say undrinkable because it was okay, but it was just super hot and loud and one dimensional. So try a little bit of that, and then let's just move on to the next thing after that. I think we probably want to finish out. Probably want to finish out with Sakura. Yeah, it would be that one.
Yeah, and then we'll finish with Sakura for sure.
Yeah. So I think you have the barrel proof rye too, right?
We have the triple batch rye.
Yeah, cool. So try that so you just get an idea, and then we'll go into the triple batch rye, the cow strength.
Just a real quick sample of this one, guys.
So this is what it was before it got proofed down to bib, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
You know what's crazy?
Attack right away.
I see what you're saying. As someone who doesn't mind a hazmat type of experience, I don't hate it.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
But
it's loud, right? It's loud.
It's loud.
It's a I'm here all up front kind of thing. Like there's no
it's like and it's over. Like,
and then
it's way too loud to be that aggressive up front, and it's like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's crazy that it's the same thing and they're two completely different profiles.
It basically stressed it out, basically. Okay.
Yeah, it's a night and day. Yeah, that's Paul. That's such a great way to do it. Like everything's compact and it just unraveled it. That's such a great way to put that. Yeah.
Okay. And this is the beauty of blending, where you have to give blenders and those that are not distillers, like you got to give them their credit, because someone could have tasted that barrel and been like, this is a wash, let's drain it. But they realized what was needed to actually put out a freaking delicious product like this Melwood that we just had. So shout out to those guys, because honestly, that's no easy task.
Like I said, Ryan's an evil genius, man. When he had us try that, and we had already had the barrels on site, and we tried it, and we're like, this is terrible. And he goes, yeah, I got, and however many barrels it was of it. I think it was like 10 or 12. And we're like, you're out of your mind. And he's like, trust the process. And we're like, okay.
I love that. All right.
Okay,
so
Joel Embiid.
Now, guys, we're going to pour this as we bring up our girl B. And then after I ask B a question, we are going to give tasting notes on this. But this is their triple bash rye, formerly known as their triple mash rye. Last year's was in my top 5 pours of all of 2025. And that one came in at 121.8 proof. And this one comes in at a higher proof of 125.2. So let's give this a go.
Let's do it. Hello, bottle, by the way. This bottle is fire.
Yeah. Honestly, like the juice inside is as delicious as the bottles are beautiful. Like, love it. Love it.
Thank you. The boys worked really hard. The boys worked really hard on getting that all solidified.
I love the color on it. It's a beautiful color.
Yeah, the color on it is absolutely superb. If you look at that, that seriously looks like melted caramel. Like, that is crazy. Yeah. Look at that. That is nuts.
Working with the distilleries that we get to for our rye is awesome. It's Bardstown Bourbon Company and Sagamore Spirits. It's 2 mash bills from Sagamore and that 95.5 from Bardstown. Yeah, it's really great to have that relationship and that partnership with them. It's our rise. It's nice to see how the tide's kind of turning and you're starting to persuade bourbon drinkers a little bit more, getting into rye. I would say if you put our rye and our bourbon next to each other, I'm going to go for our rye. I think our rye is superior, but that's also because I'm a big rye person. So
yeah,
both our whiskeys are great, but I'm going to always lean towards our rye first. So love to hear what y'all think of this one too.
I'll let you guys go first because I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Dang, on the nose, I smelled like citrus like a lemon. I smelled that, but I didn't taste that. Hold on, I gotta go back to this. I gotta try it again.
Mm.
I like that you said citrus because for me, like, here's the pretentious side of me because I've eaten a bunch of stuff and tried a bunch of stuff. But citrus that's specific that I get is Buddha's hand. I don't know if you guys have ever had that before.
No.
It's okay if you don't. I'm gonna just look like an asshole for saying it anyways. But that's what I get. That's the citrus it reminds me of. So I love that you said citrus. That's cool.
No. Oh man. All right. Hurry up. Someone talk. I got things to talk about.
So this is a rye. It's not. I don't think it's very spice forward. There is those baking spices on the back end of the back of the palate that you get, but it's not very spicy like other ryes. At least it wasn't for me. I do get the brown sugars and that kind of stuff, and then I get a little hint of. Man, this is the second time, and I said this on the last episode where I got like a ginger note on the back, very like on the finish. And the last time you guys looked at me like I was crazy, but I swear I'm getting that note. It's a little ginger note. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
I'm not getting ginger because I don't like ginger, so I would have picked that up right away. So it's good that you said it and I still don't taste it. So you didn't ruin it for me. Thank you. But the citrus, I am getting this. I don't know what it is, so I don't know what you said. You said I don't know what
lemon. Buddha's hand.
Buddha's hand. Yeah. So I've never had that before, but I am getting like a citrusy kind of taste to it. Like I'm also with the rye, I'm also getting like distinct kind of minty kind of taste as well, and it's a little bit of oh, that's what they are.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And that's a citrus fruit. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's with something else I'm getting. It's a fruit, but like a dark fruit. I can't, maybe plum or something like that, or cherry, but probably plum. I'm getting like a dark fruit with that as well, but this is like you said, I'm getting a lot of the rice spice as well, and like a minty, like not super minty, but like just a good rice spice with the minty touch to it. But yeah, I like this one as well. This is really good.
Yo, shout out to my guy Jay. Thank you so much. $10 super chat. What I don't want to see is the Knicks versus the Knicks. Facts. Stay healthy and stay out of our own way and let the defense lead the way. Everything else will follow. Salute, my guy Jay Boogie. I appreciate you. All right, so now that y'all guys said it, on the nose, I get all those things that you guys said. But on the palate, I love craft cocktails. Like craft cocktails are my thing. Like I love people coming over and I'll stay in the kitchen the whole time talking to people while I'm slinging cocktails. Like that's fine with me. Like that's my way of being part of the night. Where we're staying right now in Lakeland with our friends, we do a weekly family dinner. So my guy Jesse, he makes the dinner and I sling cocktails. That's our thing. That's our contribution to each other. I make the cocktails for everybody. He makes the food for everybody. And so for me, I'm getting that lemon you were talking about, but it's not like upfront ridiculous lemon, but it's like the lemon that you would taste in a Bee's Knees classic cocktail. Like it's a fragrant kind of lemon that the other elements around it make the lemon not bitter, but like elegant and refreshing. So I get that refreshing lemon. I get some cinnamon, like if it was like on a frosted cupcake, like that kind of cinnamon, not where it's all spice, but like sugary sweet cinnamon. I get like orange marmalade, not like eating an orange, but like orange marmalade that you would put in like a Clover Club variation, or just sprinkle it on some toast or something like that. That's where I get the orange, the brown sugar for sure, and then I get the rye spice, but I also get the classic rye mint at the end. That's the finish for me. After all those notes, it ends with a mintiness. kind of like when you have a piece of gum in your mouth and you get that like instant refreshment, where it was like my mouth was kind of warm and dry, and now I have this piece of refreshing gum in my mouth and I feel that mint. That's what I get on the end of that pour, which makes this a banger. You know what I love about this? It's very different than last year's, but still such a freaking banger. Like, yo, you guys are killing it.
Can I add something to this really quick, if you don't mind? So, for whoever's watching, whoever's listening, and curious about rye, I just want to kind of encourage you to go down that path. Apollo went down that path, and I feel like he's kind of a rye drinker now. And here's why. Bourbon kind of hits this plateau, and to get into more complex bourbon, you have to lay down more dollars out of your wallet. You know, you start getting over 12 years in bourbon, like that's when bourbon starts getting complex again, but that's when the price tag goes way up. Rye is really complex at an early age. So you get like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old rye, and you have a lot of the complexities that you get with 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old bourbon. And it's not going to beat you over the head, like out of your wallet, right? Yeah. So if you're looking for more out of your experience and you feel like you've kind of plateaued with bourbon or just whiskey in general, I highly suggest you get into rye. It doesn't have to be our rye, but go after a low rye. That's one of the things that's so beautiful about ours is it is a low rye. It's really heavy, and the 52% rye, it's definitely a bourbon drinker's rye, but it's super complex in its flavors. It's a 5 to 7-year-old rye. So start going after that. If you see a rye that's older than 6 years age stated on the shelf, tear into that, because you're going to start getting a lot of complexities, and it's really going to brighten and kind of open up your palate if you're feeling like you're plateauing or whiskey's just kind of boring for you. The next step for you, the next progression is rye, and then extra aged rye, and then you can come back in and start getting into extra aged bourbons and hyper aged bourbons. There we go.
I love that.
Thank you.
No, I agree. Like, a lot of people are scared of rye, and I feel like, hey, there's ways to transition. You know, like even trying a high rye bourbon, you know, that introduce a lot of rye into your bourbons, and then making that. We did the Peerless, you know, a few weeks ago. Their high rye is a great introduction of the bourbon flavors you know and love, but giving you little hints of the rye so that when you transition, it doesn't feel like a huge transition. So I love that. I'm excited right now. All right. There's a lot of like men talk in basketball, and sometimes these men need to take a seat. All right. There's a lot of people on Twitter that I'm like, yo, pipe down, Chachi, calm down. All right. Let real ball knowers speak. And when I talk about real ball knowers, I know someone in our KOT family who knows ball, and she could probably beat every single one of us in a game of basketball. All right. Like, not just talking ball, but on the court. She is a beast. Don't be looking at that, looking at me like that, Mr. ATL. All right? You still need to sit down.
Achilles, hey, you're right. Achilles, yeah, I can't say nothing.
She left-handed, right? I heard she can't go right.
Oh, well, you gotta watch out. Like, she gonna meet you and give you a right. Like, right across.
As a representative for left-handers, go fuck yourself.
This is a kids channel, Timothy. All right. I'll let you get away with that one because it was hilarious. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up my girl B. Where's that coming from? Where's that music coming from? Oh, that was weird. I didn't know that was in StreamYard. I am not trying to like old school.
She had her own
have a Jersey dance show.
That was dope.
But I guess that's going to be her intro. Without further ado, my girl B.
Hey.
I heard that, by the way, Al. I heard you, Al. Left hand, best hand. Tim, shout out to you. I don't know you, but you gave me a nice welcome warming. Left hand is the best hand. Left hand, best hand.
All right, B. I got to talk to you. We're going to talk about Mikhail very shortly, so be patient. Be patient. I know the engagement ring is still on the finger. You just, you she switched it. All right. But first, what we talked about last was how the Knicks are currently playing and how elite basketball we've played, which is better basketball than most of us have seen in our Knick fandom. And everybody is contributing. And those last games were monstrous for us. And yet we did not have OG Anunoby, who was one of our candidates for MVP of that first series. So what are your thoughts on the fact that OG Anunoby is coming back healthy for game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
I'm glad we sat him. So I do want to start there. I think it was a good thing too, because I know we did beat. I heard a little bit with Al. I know he was joking, but we did beat the Sixers without him. But it's not. You can't really take much with that. The Sixers suck. There wasn't much needed for that. I'm glad he did sit because it gave the opportunity for Shamit and Miles to get going again. Those were two people that I was kind of a little frustrated with in the first 2 series and to end the season. I was noted that they were coming off injuries, but it was also kind of like you said, when OG came back, he just got right back into the groove. And I know that they're a different caliber, no comparison as far as talent, but you kind of want to see that just amongst all your players, where you come back from injury and you don't realize that the injury is still staggering with them, that they're right back, they're ready to go. If not, get back on the bench and sit, bro. So it was nice to see that Miles and Shamit get back in the groove. So to me, OG's injury was a blessing in disguise because it got those two guys going. And I was okay with it. I'm glad that we sat him and rest him because the hammy is something that I don't know if a lot of us dealt with that, but that's an injury that is very scary. It's not, I think the top 2 scary injuries are hammy and Achilles. Those 2 things you always want to kind of sit back and be like, wait a minute, is this guy 100% to go? Because if those things get re-injured or injured more, these are injuries that can have a guy sitting out probably for the rest of the season, if not for a few years of his career. So I'm okay that we took the risk and we saw that no OG, no problem against Philly. However, OG is going to be needed for the next 2 rounds. These are not 2 teams, whether it's Detroit or Cavs. I think they're both, a lot of us see it, barbecue chicken for their own purposes, their own reasons. I think that they're on different calibers. I think Cleveland is more of a challenge than Detroit. I know a lot of people probably don't agree, but they have more talent on their roster. And then I think Detroit, we're going to need him again to stop Cade Cunningham if we're not going to put Mikal on him. So we're going to need OG. OG is kind of like making a cake. Like you can make it with some flour and some milk, but if you got those other ingredients, it's going to come out from a regular cake to a really, really good cake. And that's what OG is for us. Like, yes, we got the milk, we got Jalen Brunson, we got the flour, we got Cat, but we need those other things to get in there. The frosting, the icing, the sprinkles, things like that to make it a really, really good cake. And that's what OG is for us. He's just those little ingredients that make something good to a lot better. And I'm excited to see him come back and get right back into the groove because, again, we've seen it all year. He's been in and out of the lineup a few times, and I hope that everything is well and he's ready to go again.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where it's like, just because we can win without a player doesn't mean it's the best route to go. Like that just shows that our team is really finally understanding next man up mentality. But it also means that like having him there and those guys now ready means that we don't have to overexert any of our main guys. You look at some of these teams that are clocking the minutes that we hated as Knicks fans over, Tom Thibodeau, when we're like, yo, if our players are all playing 38 to 40 minutes, like, how do you expect them to do that in a 7-game series? Like that's an issue. The fact that we don't have to do that right now is leaps and bounds the most exciting thing that we can say as a Knicks fan going into the Eastern Conference Finals, because we were still relying on the same 6-7 guys last season going into the Eastern Conference Finals, that no one could have a bad game because that bad game could cost us the series. But now with Landry Shamet clicking, with Miles McBride clicking, with Jose Alvarado clicking, and all these guys stepping into themselves, with Mikal Bridges showing up and clicking all at the right time, that gives us 10 guys to rely on. That is a beautiful thing to have going into the Eastern Conference Finals and then the finals. So I love that. I love the fact that we're able to do that. So before we go into this last whiskey pour, because Tim's a businessman as well, and he's got work to do tonight with some people in California, what would you grade Mike Brown in the playoffs so far? I'm going to go with you, B.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mike Brown. If I had to give him a grade right now for the playoffs, I would give him an A. I think we played what so far 4, 6. What's that? My math is terrible. That's 10 games.
Yeah, 10 games.
And only 2 games that I questioned his coaching, and those were the 2 losses that we took. So that percentage in itself is really good. If you're playing 10 games and only 20% of the games you're like, wait a minute, is our coach alive? Is he coachable? Is he doing the right things? And then the rest of the games, I thought he adjusted very well. I think that he had the offense. He's setting records. It's not just like we're winning these games and they're just. I think we're the only team that even OKC standing so far that we beat a team, 2 separate teams at that by 40 or more. And people could say the caliber of the talent, but last time I checked, the OKC played a play-in Suns, who is probably on the same level as the Atlanta Hawks and the Sixers, and they played a Luka-less Lakers. And if we've seen the Lakers, that roster is terrible. I'm so sorry. That is a terrible roster. They didn't come out with 40-point wins. And if you watched both of those series, Lakers they were in a lot of those games. The games that every game that our opponent had no chance at every time we won. Except the 2 losses. And in those 2 losses, if you watch, those were on us. And I like the fact that the backs were against the wall and we saw a complete 360, not just a 180. We saw a complete 360 that I think Mike Brown understood that if we play like this, our chances of even getting to the second round or even the Eastern Conference Finals is slim to none. He didn't take advantage of the fact that I just have talent or we've been here before. He had them understood. And as we saw little things like sacrifice with them signing that, he'd been locked in from the beginning of the season. And I'm now happy to see that the little things that he was doing in the regular season, he's now implementing in the offseason. So with me at A, because when things were rough, he didn't panic. He didn't do too much. He just kind of made the minor changes to pull out, and these are some really, really good wins. I like the adjustments. I like the way he's using Cat on the offense. I like the fact that the substitutions that he's making. I like the people that he is. One game he knows that, okay, I could use Jose, but this game I need Shaman or Miles. In this game I need Mitch a little bit more. In this game I need, I like the way he's using everybody's minutes. I like that not a single player has played over 40 minutes in the playoffs so far. I like that we get to see our young boys get some playoff minutes too, because obviously they're blowouts, but nice experience for some of them. So I give him an A. I think the defense looks good, the offense looks good, and we're rocking and rolling because of him.
And one thing I want to say before we throw it to Tim on this next pour is, when I look at the 2 losses, I maybe give one of those to Mike Brown. But if you look at it, some of it resulted back into selfish play by some of our players not working together, like pushing back on the system that we saw start to work at the end of the season and in that first game of the playoffs. So for that, I have to look and go, okay, one game I give it to him, one game has to be towards the players. But instead of him going, okay, it was just one game that I blew and one game on the players, we can go back. Like the real Ham for free said, he made in the middle of a series the adjustment to start playing through a different player than we've played through most of the season.
Yes.
Like we saw a few games through the season where running it through Cat really worked, but most coaches are not confident enough in their coaching, their assistant coaches, or the team to make that drastic of a change. Like if it was a change like that needed to be made, no shade to Thibodeau, but in a Thibodeau like playoff series, he would rather die on what he was already doing than make a change so drastic to say, maybe I've had it wrong this season. And he made that change. And since then, it's been nothing but victories for the New York Knicks. So you got to give flowers where they're due, because that's a big thing to say. We're going to switch the trajectory completely, and it's made all of our players better. And like you said, Tibbs would get on a thing where it was Landry Shamet gave us, 15 points and 3 steals last game. So the next 6 games he's playing, no matter what. But Mike Brown's like, well, he gave that to us last game, but right now Alvarado's giving that to us. So we're going to rock with Alvarado. Last game, McBride didn't give us any of that in the Hawks series or even the start of the 76ers series. Yet Mike Brown gave him the opportunity, saw he had the hot hand, and let it roll. He didn't care if Shamet didn't get the minutes or if Clarkson didn't get the minutes. What he saw was what is currently working. And that is a coach that is maybe old school in his age, but still flexible to what's currently happening in the game. And you got to
Can I add one thing? Those 2 losses, as bad as they looked and as they felt when we were going through them, being down 2-1, we only lost by 1 point, both of those
Exactly.
games. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
that's just one play, one adjustment in each game that we're talking about the team completely different. If we're winning both of those games and we only lost by 1 point,
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to Tim real quick before he has to go. But I'm excited for this. All right. Because you guys know I try to sample some stuff before it happens. But this is a bottle that, like, when Tim first told me about it, he told me about it getting off the episode of our last show that we had him on. He's like, this is in the works. And I was like, all right, bet, I need one. And they sold out so freaking quick that he wasn't able to like set one aside for me. And I was so freaking bummed. So I looked online and they were like ridiculously being sold on secondary because it was such a limited run. And I was like, freaking A, like I see all my friends reviewing it and I'm so freaking mad because I'm not. So I went to like my stash and I looked for an expensive bottle that I was willing to part with. That I was like, I know I'm going to love this bottle, but if this is anything like what Tim said, or what my friend Whiskey Weather or my friend Dram Daddy has said, this is worth parting with a bottle that I've held on to for this long. So I traded that bottle immediately. As soon as someone said that they were looking for something, I said, what about this? And they were like, sure. And they were like, all right, we'll send it over. And I was like, done. So this right here is the Sakura Bloom finished in cherry blossom casks. I don't even know what that freaking means, Tim. So let me know what it means to be finished in a cherry blossom cask, because as someone who is from the city, I know walking through the park looking at a cherry blossom, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. And as a photographer, taking couples or clients and being like, let's do photos in front of the cherry blossom tree. But what the frick does it mean to finish in a Japanese cherry blossom cask?
So, first of all, I have to say something because actually, I'm going to ask a question first. Can I ask what you traded to get that?
Yeah, I traded a rare character TKO.
We have arrived. That's awesome.
You have to do what you have to
That was
do.
a good, that was a good question.
Seriously.
Great question. But don't tell Pete. Don't tell Peter or Pablo.
Hopefully they're not watching. Hopefully they're not watching.
They step by the distillery on a regular basis. That's cool. I'm down with that. That's awesome. Those are good guys. Okay, so we have been pedal to the metal so hard lately. Things have been changing. Things have been going on. It's been crazy busy at the distillery that I actually have not even gotten a chance to try this. I tried the trials and the things that we were working on and trying to like get it to taste where we wanted to. And I think it was maybe the last 3 to 6 weeks before this was going to be bottled. Ryan and I kind of threw a Hail Mary and added a little more wood to it to try to get it to pull its flavor through a little bit more. And this is actually the first time right now that I've tried it being finished. And oh my smokes. This is incredible. Like I can't wait for you all to try it and we actually get to chalk it up and talk about it. I think this is the best thing that we have released it as a brand, as a big release. It's an LTO, but like I'd rave and rant about our one-offs and our single barrels. This is hands down the most complex, the most flavorful. I can't believe the flavor that's coming out of this and the age range that's on here. We're like 5, let's say 5 to like maybe 7. 7's a little bit of a reach on our bourbon. I think 4.5 to maybe 6.5 is a little more accurate. However, I can't believe how complex this is. I can't believe how rich this is. I can't believe how viscous this is. This is just a flavor explosion on my palate, and it just keeps going.
I can't wait.
Man.
All right, so guys,
Please.
little breakdown. It's 114 proof, and so it's a blend of Bardstown Bourbon Company, all right, Tennessee Distilling Partner, and Finger Lakes Distilling. So how long was it aged in the cherry blossoms?
Yes. So really quick. So it's two rye bourbon mash bills and a wheated bourbon mash bill. So this was a 5-barrel blend. One of the barrels was on Sakura for I think 8 months. And then the other 4 barrels were on Sakura for I think 3 months, with then an additional 6 weeks of Sakura in the tote after it was dumped.
All right.
So it sat on Sakura for a good amount of time after it was dumped and blended.
Okay. All right. All right, guys, let's go for this pour so that Tim can go be a working man and we can enjoy.
I wish I could stay here and drink. I mean, I get to go drink on the other thing, but I wish I could stay here and drink with y'all. It's gonna be fun regardless. It'll be good. It'll be good.
On the nose, I smell flowers. I don't smell cherry. I smell berries. That's what I
smell. Strawberry, nonstop strawberry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Like, it's crazy how much strawberry I smell. Like strawberry, like fresh strawberries. I'm like, oh my gosh. So there's a spot here in Florida called I don't even remember the name of it, but it's probably like 10 miles from where like right now, and we take the kids all the time, and they do fresh strawberry shortcakes, strawberry cheesecakes, strawberry everything. And when you walk there, it's a strawberry farm, and so you're just walking through the freshness and smelling all the strawberries that they use for the product, and that's exactly what I smell when I smell this. Like, it smells like a strawberry pastry. It's crazy.
I definitely get sweet oak on the palate. I could taste the barrel. You said you wanted to put more oak in it, right?
Wanted to put more of the Sakura on it. So that oak, that fruit, that complexity, that viscosity that you're getting, that's all from the Sakura.
Oh, the viscosity is so nice.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is so good. Like, it's so unique.
I am getting a little bit of cherry in there.
Yep.
Yeah, now I'm tasting the cherry.
I love it, Phil. I love that you said strawberry. There's a bakery here in town called Butchertown Bakery. Shout out to Butchertown Bakery. Thanks for making all our sweets and treats. They did a couple weeks ago. They did a cronut that was a strawberry cheesecake. I don't like sweets, and somebody brought me this, and this was a new thing to me. I had not heard of cronuts. That thing blew my mind.
Cronuts. Love cronuts.
And the strawberry note and the cherry note that I'm getting on here really remind me of that, but also the viscosity and the way this whiskey feels on my palate also reminds me of eating strawberry shortcake, which is super weird. Like, it's so bizarre how, like, drinking something can also bring a memory of eating something. So, like, I love the viscosity on this too.
You know, it's crazy. This is one of the most unique pours I've had in a very long time. It's like, even these first 2 sips that I've had, I've gotten different flavors out of it. So when you talked about like a cronut, so in New York, there's a bakery, one of my favorites. Shout out to Don Ansel Bakery. They are the ones that created the cronut. So to use the word cronut at any of your places, you actually have to license the name from Don Ansel because it's trademarked.
That's crazy.
And so what I love about his like pastry is it's got the flakiness that you get of a croissant, but then the sweetness of whatever he infused into that donut. And so this right here tastes like a strawberry cronut. But in that second sip that I got, one thing I like to use in some cocktails is rose water. Where it brings like a new flavor to like your old fashioned or any of your cocktails. So I'm getting hints of like rose water. I'm getting some like raspberry in there. But I'm also getting some black tea, which I love. Like, I'm on a huge tea kick. So this drinks like a tea. It doesn't drink like a bourbon that kind of hits you in the face, you know, like with punch. Like, it's like something like a tea that you can drink over time and it still tastes the same. With coffee, you got to drink it, you know, like you wait too long for coffee, it doesn't really taste the same, you know. Coffee 20 minutes in the process of sipping and you're like, ooh, that last sip was rough. but tea is not like that. And so that's what I'm getting from this. So I'm getting the butteriness of a pastry. I'm getting the sweetness of a pastry with some raspberry, some rose petal, some strawberry, some black tea. This is insane. And I'm also getting anise, which I absolutely love. Like the spice that I'm getting is like oak with anise. This is insane. Like absolutely insane. Like very rarely do like bourbons and ryes get into like my great category. They're typically in my like good, really good, really, really good. But this is definitely in that great category. This is incredible.
Yeah.
I've had a couple people message me and say that they think this might be whiskey of the year. And first of all, when anyone says that about any product, I think that's always super flattering if that's your brand or something that you run with. Once again, first time I'm trying this after it being completely finished, I would run in that camp. Like, first of all, I represent Pursuit, right? So of course I'm going to say that. But this is blowing my mind how good this is.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I'm getting to try this for the first time with you guys too. This is awesome.
Going into the pour, I was like, man, that rye was special. I was like, this got a long hill to climb to beat that rye. But man, this is good. Holy smokes.
This is insane. You know what's crazy, Tim? TKOs are my favorite rare characters. So without cracking this, I was like, man, I can't believe I just gave it up a TKO, but this has got to be good. Like I trust the people that I've watched their reviews. My guy Whiskey Weather, me and him, our palates are very similar. I saw the praise that he gave. I was like, all right, I'm going out on a limb and I'm trading this. And one thing I love about TKOs, which is why I bought so many, was the strawberry bubblegum flavor that you get. And so the fact that I traded it for something that is strawberry makes me so freaking happy. Like there's no regrets right now.
Dude, I will be honest, you came out on top. Like TKOs are great. Don't get me wrong. It's not me slamming them at all. I love what we're doing. This is spectacular. Like I said, first time. I'm so stoked that you gave something that you really, love, but you got something that you're enjoying too. So that's super cool.
Dude, thank you so much for the sample, man. This is awesome.
Dude, absolutely.
And this bottle is dope as hell.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. All right, Tim, I know you got your tasting coming up. Where can people support what you guys are doing?
I mean, the first thing to do is go to pursuitspirits.com and see if we're distributed to your state. We're currently in 16 states right now. We just got opened up on the West Coast. So we just opened up California, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, and California. If we don't distribute to your state, hop on sealbox.com, get our stuff shipped directly to your doorstep. And then to take that one step further, join our P Club. It's $150 to join. You get free shipping, and you get the exclusives, all our LTOs that come out. So you don't even have to worry about if you're going to get a bottle or not. You join the P Club. Boom. That's shipped right to your doorstep. You don't have to stress or worry about getting those LTOs. They're getting shipped right to you. If you go that route, drop my name in. Tam, you get yourself a little bonus. And I get a little bonus. Makes me look good. It makes you taste good. But that's the best way to do it. And please, if you're in Louisville, stop by and see us. I'm at the distillery over in Phoenix Hill / Butchertown. But please come see us on Whiskey Row. We're right in between Bardstown Bourbon Company and Green River, catty corner from Michter's, and right across the street from the Science Center. You can come hit us all. You can go Peerless, come hang out at Barrels and Billets, go to Michter's, go to Bardstown, hit us up, and then go hang out at Green River, and then finish it out at Evan Williams. Thank you for having me again. I hope I get to come back a third time and more and more and more. I love hanging out with y'all, even though I don't know what's going on with basketball. I'm a hockey guy. That's where I'm wearing my hockey right now. Tonight's game 6. It is going right now. Fingers crossed that we can pull out a W and go to game 7. But seriously, thank you for letting me be here. Thank you for letting me support this brand and support you guys. I appreciate you all. Like I said, I hope I get to come back again. Come see
Great
us in
meeting you,
Louisville. And I hope I'll see you all soon.
Tim,
Take
you
care,
know,
man.
Tim.
you know, I freaking love you, dude. Question: they asked if you guys distribute in New York right now.
I don't think we're in New York right now. I know we're in DC because our national sales rep is actually in DC right now as we speak.
But you guys deliver there, right? You guys
We
can
do
deliver?
deliver there. Like I said, P Club, Seal Box. Get yourself a P Club subscription. You get all the LTOs and did sub. And if you don't like what's coming out, you can skip and go to the next quarter, and you're not penalized for it either. So P Club's really the best way to get our stuff if you can't get it distributed where you're at.
So, Tim, obviously you'll hear more from me. I'll be texting you probably tomorrow. But one thing that we're trying to do, maybe in the summer before next year, is do something a little bit different and actually get some barrel picks with brands this summer to showcase next season on our episodes. So Pursuit is obviously number one on our radar because of you and obviously the juice that's in this bottle right here. But we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. We will have you back. And until next time, God bless and good luck tonight on your sampling whiskey thing that you're doing. And also hope that your team wins, even though I know nothing about hockey.
Yo, take care, Tim. Nice to meet you.
Rock and roll. Nice to meet
Later,
you.
bro. Have a good one.
Peace.
All right, B, it's that time. And I'm going to go with you first. Mikal freaking Bridges came out of nowhere. He went from being, hey, you can hitchhike and maybe we'll pick you up, to, all right, let this fool ride shotgun, because he is doing it all for us in that last series. So what are your thoughts? I know you've been fair. Like, I know, you know, at moments we've been like, B, take off the hottie goggles. I know you love him, but look at the game. And you're like, all right, fine, he's been trash. But now he's playing in a way that makes me and Lee go, all right, we'll take a step back. We'll apologize. And we don't apologize for the season, but we did say that if Mikal Bridges showed up in the postseason, then it would erase all the times that he didn't show up in the regular season. And he's done that. And we need him to continue to do that. I think the way that he's playing is an incremental part of us being able to make it to the finals. Like, if he does not play that way, it's going to hurt us. So what are your thoughts on how your Boothang has performed in the playoffs, and can he sustain this into this next round? I'll go to you first, obviously.
The thing about Mikal, yes, Villanova. You know, I always got to support my boo. The thing about Mikal is, I always emphasize that I'm a fan of the game. So when it's not even a Mikal thing, it's a Knicks thing. You know, I just kind of get blind with the Knicks. Like, I always have faith in us. I think that we have a great roster. But there were moments that were kind of questionable. However, with Mikal, my big factor with him always is, I never thought, and I highlighted this on our other show, he was brought in for the regular season. When we acquired him, absolutely. When we acquired him, I was like, we finally got another piece. And like the same thing with OG. These were pieces to put around the main guy, which is Jalen Brunson. And like I highlighted too, one thing that always bothered me with the past Knicks teams is that when we had a piece, we never got other players to connect with them. When we had Melo, we only had one really good roster, and then the next year we decided, oh, they were really good, let me just blow it up and go get even worse. It was always puzzling. I always highlight Patrick Ewing. You realize how great he was, because then when you look at the rosters, you're like, this man went to the finals twice with these guys. So it just shows how great he was. I don't think that he had a top point guard, a consistent all-star. I believe John Starks maybe made one all-star team. I could be making that up, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know the 90s. I won't lie. I don't know too much off the top of my head the way I do from the Melo years on. Same thing with Carmelo. You can't name multiple all-stars that he had by his side throughout the years. So when we finally decided to move on from Randall and then bring in a consistent all-star in Karl Anthony Towns, I said, all right, here we go. This is a move that was kind of rough at the time because I was a fan of Randall. I was starting to become a fan of Randall, and then I felt we kind of gave up on him with him being injured and not allowing him to run it back. But I'm like, you know what? We're getting a better player in return. And Dante, excuse me, sweetheart. Dante's with the trade always kind of hurt, I won't lie, but business is business. And I think now we look back, we're okay with the fact that Randall and Dante went for Karl. Then we signed OG, and I know a lot of people were kind of like, whoa, that's big money. But now we see, same thing
Worth
with
it.
Mikal. Now
Worth
you
it.
see what he was brought in for. He was never brought in here to be the man. He was never brought in here to be the 1, 2, let alone the 3. He was brought in here to fit alongside other guys. And I think that's the perfect thing with Mikal right now, because he's a guy that you can say to him, okay, get some scoring going. But the main thing is, can you please stop that other great guy that they have on the opposite team? And he's done that in not only round 1, he's not only done that in round 2, but you're about to see him do it in round 3, whether it be Donovan, whether it be James Harden, whether it be Cade Cunningham, whether it be Duncan Robinson, whether it be Tobias Harris, whether who it may be, even Evan Mobley, he could possibly get in front of and mix up a little bit. So that's where I always stood in the face of him, because there's certain things that you need ingredients. You don't need 10 scorers in the NBA because there's only one basketball. However, you do need someone who can rebound. You do need someone who can play defense. You do need someone who can, get some scores. And we have that in Karl and Jalen Brunson. They're going to get you buckets. You're also going to get rebounds from Karl Anthony Towns, which is great. But you need someone to play on the defensive end. You need someone to stop the great players on the other team. So asking your main man to do that, it's a luxury to have that. So whoever has those type of players, like the Kawhi Leonards, those are luxuries. You want your guy to be able to give it to you on offense and defense. But if you could tell your superstar, hold on a second, my guy got you, take a little breather on defense. That's where Mikal Bridges is such a luxury, because we don't have to work Jalen Brunson. Even if he was a great defensive player, we can tell our best player, move over a little bit, let this guy play your best player and get to work. And I'm really excited to see what matchup we do get, because I think the same way Maxey was a non-factor, the same way who was in the first round, Tequila Walker Alexander was a non-factor. It's the same way, I think, again, James Harden is already a choker, so I could probably see him on Donovan Mitchell more. Or Cade Cunningham. I would love to see if he shuts down Cade Cunningham. I just want to continue to see this defensive rampage that he's on, because I know a lot of us harp on him because of the offense. The offense wasn't clicking. And when that isn't going, it's hard to even acknowledge the defensive end. Yeah. So I like when he's going offensively, because then it makes you guys forget about them picks. It makes you guys forget about other things that are not going so well. But I'm always very high on his defense, and I'm glad that that's something that never drops, despite everything else that may be inconsistent. So I think he's just as important. I think OG's a little bit, but I think he's just as important as OG Anunoby. I think it's unanimous. Karl, this ship doesn't go without Karl and Jalen Brunson. Obviously, Jalen Brunson first and Karl Anthony Towns. You need those two. God forbid anything happens. I don't know, even if we have the OGs and Mikals. However, Mikal and OG I think OG's a little bit higher, because I think when OG is going, we're unstoppable. But they're just as important. Without those two, I don't know how far we can go. I don't even think we can possibly win the NBA Finals. So these are guys that I'm excited to see keep going. And I think he's one of those things that you don't realize how important until it's gone. And I think that's what I'm excited that people are starting to realize, that I know he had a bad season, probably not one of his best seasons, but this is what we brought him in for. We brought him in to win championships. We brought him in to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. We brought him in to possibly win our first ring in God knows how long. So it's just nice to see his offense going, but the defense is always going to get me. And I think, like we always know, the saying goes, defense wins championships, and we got two of those bad boys on our side. So I'm excited to see him continuous. And I want people to also see it's not a fluke. This is a player that, again, when he had his own team, he was a potential all-star. I think a lot of people don't give Brooklyn nods the way they don't give the Knicks nods, but we know that he could be the man, but he wasn't brought in here for that. He was brought in here to play defense and do what he's been doing the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. And to your point, I
Part of my daughter.
You're fine. Like, I have kids. Like, I never want you to apologize for being a mother.
Facts.
Like, at all.
Facts.
Like, I grew up, me and my brother, with a single mother who had to do all the
Yep.
things that you are doing. So I have nothing but love and respect for what you do. You never have to apologize. She can scream
Word.
all day long. Your takes are worth listening to, and her screaming is worth listening to because you're being a top-notch mom, and that's way more important than being a Knicks content creator. So thank you for
I didn't
that.
even hear her. I didn't even hear her.
Yeah. I was paying attention to you and just seeing her being a kid. I love it. But you know, the thing with Mikhail that was like frustrating through the season, it was like you'd have such a clutch defensive game, and then you'd have a game where he was like running, trying to stop his defender, and they were constantly scoring, and you were like, if you can't score, at least freaking defend. Like, do something. You know, like, what are you here for? And so in the season, it was like one of those things. It was like, how can I love you so much in one game and want to deck you in the mouth the next? Like, that was the frustrating thing as a Knicks fan. But what I love about what we're seeing in the playoff is that he's come to be what we need him to be. And I agree that OG is a level above, but what makes OG be a level above is having Mikhail be the potential to be that as well. If the defenses see that Mikhail is a pushover and that he's going to be complete trash all like season, all playoff long, they're not going to worry about OG like the way that they worry about OG, because they're like, oh, we can double team OG when we need to, or we can do this or we can do that. But the fact that Mikhail is willing to do the things that we've asked him to do all season, and he's doing them now in the playoffs, it makes it easier for Cat. It makes it easier for JB. It makes it easier for OG. So yes, he might be fourth on the totem pole offensively, but him being part of the offense makes it matter. Like, it even allows Josh Hart to get shots that Josh Hart would not normally get, because they're worried about the number 4 that the number 5 is allowed to shoot. But if they're not worried about the 4, then they can be like, oh, the number 5 is not going to shoot because the 4 sucks. So being that Mikhail has stepped up has truly changed the trajectory of the playoffs for us. So before I go to the next topic, I'm going to let you chat on this as well, Al. What are your thoughts on what we've seen from Mikal Bridges? And do you think that he can sustain this through the rest of the playoffs?
Well, I want to say I was one of those people during the regular season that was completely out on Mikal Bridges. If you look over here above my shoulder, I have Anthony Mason's jersey. I love toughness. Like, I need my basketball players to be tough basketball players. I grew up in Harlem where when you were playing street ball, like, you were gonna get tested. Your toughness was gonna get tested. And I love what Loopy always says. His motto is bully up.
Yeah,
that's always I've taken that motto. I always say the same thing. You got to bully up. So Mikal Bridges is kind of the antithesis of that. Like, he's more a tactician. He shies away from contact in the regular season because he's pacing himself for the postseason, and he has proven now to me in these last 2 years that he's a playoff riser. He has, and that's the most important time of year, because you don't. The best availability, the best ability is availability, right? Yep. And so the fact that he's there for us 82 games out of the year is a feat in and of itself, and is super important in helping us win games and making us get playoff seeding. And then for him to be able to elevate his game every playoffs is crazy. And the way that he's elevated his game in this playoffs just made me be like, you know what? I'm done bashing Mikal. And I went and put this up on the screen. I went and I signed my Mikal Bridges apology form. Put it up on the screen, Phil, so everybody can see it.
Here it is.
I'm sharing it. Boom. There it is. It was signed on May 9th by me. I don't know ball.
Just send me a copy. Send me a copy. I need to sign it. I
encourage everyone else that was bashing Mikal to sign theirs too.
I sign it.
No. I'm shutting that down. All right.
I already know what you're gonna say, Phil. But listen, bro, I'm a man of my word, bro. I said if he start playing better, I gotta give him his credit.
But here's the thing. Mikal Bridges is the kind of player that is going to either rise or crumble to the occasion. Okay. And so the fact that Mikal Bridges played the way that he did in the playoffs I think the fact that the fans were honest about what they saw and their frustrations with him as a player actually resonated with him. He is the kind of guy that is level headed and he appreciates the accolades and the praise from the fan base, but he also is willing to take the critiques of the fan base. And I think he knows that he did not deliver in the season. So I don't apologize for what I saw in the season because that's acting like I didn't see what I saw.
Yeah.
We saw what we saw. Even the girl
yeah.
that's absolutely in love with him saw what she saw. But she knew the player that he was in the playoffs last year, and she held on to the hopes that he would show up and be that player, which is why me and Lee say, hey, we're not going to apologize for the critiques that we gave him because critiques make you better. Like when we come to the KOT family, I look at all of our takes years ago as opposed to our takes now, and iron sharpens iron. Like I'm going to listen to B and I'm going to be like, where was I wrong? In mine and her debate. And I know that B's going to do the same. I know B's going to go, Phil had a good point there. I didn't see it that way, but maybe I should have saw it that way. And that's because we listened. If we continue to spit the same retired, uneducated take that we took 6 months ago, that would be an issue. Yeah, but the fact that we have each other to sharpen each other and be like, hey, this is where my issue was. Like Lee publicly came out on their last KOT show and was like, yo, I said something about Phil that was dumb and stupid, because this kid knows ball. Like I should have never said that. I was an idiot. And I was like, bro, I forgave you about that 6 months ago. You don't need to apologize about it again. But like for him, he was like, I don't know how I missed that, And so that's a humility thing. And I think Mikal Bridges is that kind of player that sees that he did not deliver the way that we needed to have him in the playoffs. I mean, in the regular season. And he's changed that in the playoffs. Like we can't look and go, "Oh, I was wrong. He did draw contact in the season." No, he didn't. Like, what was your apology for? Like, there was no, he didn't get to a foul line. No, he didn't. Like,
I think what my defense also came from was if you remove certain aspects, and I agree with you guys. You can't kind of apologize for what we were seeing in time. With me, my take always came from, I always ask people, if we didn't give the picks away and we just acquired Mikal Bridges, would you guys still feel the same way? That was always my defense with him, because I felt like that was where a lot of the anger came from a lot of fans. It was like, sure, Mikal has sucked sometimes, and sure, he's not shooting the ball well, but I'm so mad because we gave up 5 picks for him. And it's like, the picks are gone. The picks were gone before we even knew that Giannis was an opportunity or a chance. The picks were gone before a lot of these players that you guys want now we could have acquired. At the time, we were looking for something specifically, and he fit that, and that's why we decided to give it up. It did help tremendously that he was Jalen Brunson's best friend, and they played in Villanova together and things of that nature. I think a lot of that factored into that. But my question and my defense always came from, okay, take away maybe two or three picks. Would you guys really be this upset about the fact that Mikal is not living to where he was? And a lot of people, I believe personally, wouldn't have felt the same way. And that's why I always stood and rolled with him, because I agree with you, Phil, on in the moment it's hard. But I always knew that if it comes to the playoffs, he's going to make a lot of people look silly, and that's what I held on to, that faith, because I always say this, and it's one of my favorite quotes: the best way you can tell someone's future is by looking at their past. You can't. That's why a lot of people, when it comes to the playoffs, you're like, I already know this guy's not going to show up. That's why, again, give me Cleveland. I already know James Harden is not going to have 3 series in a row where he's playing well. Give me James Harden, please. We know at some point he's going to slip. It's just what it is. It's what the past has shown. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. I've seen him time and time. This is not his first playoff appearance. He's been in the playoffs a few times, and every time he has played his role, and he's played it very well. I think he's actually overachieved. In Phoenix, he overachieved in his playoff run. He wasn't the man in that team either. He was also the 3rd or 4th option. Same thing with the Knicks. We don't win those 2 series without him. I know, again, you don't get to those series and you don't get to the level that we were without Jalen Brunson and Cat and things like that. Yes, but you don't win certain games where sealed the series without Mikal Bridges in those. And that's where, again, I roll with him throughout. I kind of put my feelings of what we traded for. Same thing with Cat. Everybody didn't like it because, yeah, sure, we didn't like Randall, but we didn't like it because he gave Dante too. If you take certain aspects out of the trade or what we got to acquire the person, that's why I always kind of just rode with Mikal too. So I didn't want to throw that out there. I kind of put my feelings aside with the picks, and that's why my slogan is F them picks, and it's always going to be F them picks because it was something that already happened. And on top of that, we have a pick in this year's draft where we can land someone really, really cool. We have a 24th pick, I believe. And this draft is loaded, so I think that I think that
Sing it, girl, sing it.
the way we've been
That
doing business
audition
lately, it's just hard for us to be mad at the business that we've already done because we've seen the business that we used to do. We did it where we either were stuck or our future wasn't so bright. Even with acquiring Mikal Bridges, if he didn't work out, I think he's still a flippable player, and he actually helped us tremendously. If we still got to flip him now, people are now going to be like, "Yeah, I would definitely want him."
People will take him.
Yeah.
Portland wanted him.
He's
Portland
still
wanted him.
flippable.
Yo,
We've been stuck
if
with non-flippable players, and we also, when we look on draft night, we weren't looking forward to it because we were either stuck in the dirt and it's like, okay, if this guy comes in, is he really going to take us to the glory? Or we didn't have good enough picks. So that's where I always put my feelings aside with Mikal Bridges too.
So I think it's a both and. It's like you hold off hope because you've seen what they can do in the playoffs. And you hope for that. But I can't knock the people that get frustrated with the 5 picks because you have to watch how many games in a regular season. 82 games. Like the playoffs is a certain amount of games that is far less than 82. So when you have 82 and you're like, where is this guy for 65 of 82? It can cause frustration because your loyalty is having you watch those games. And it makes you go, okay, is it worth the picks? Why? Because that's what's in your face nonstop. At the end of the day, what happens in the playoffs matters most. But when you go, crap, if Tatum was there all season, if Tyrese was there all season, would we still have that comfortability of the spot that we were at, in the regular series, in the regular season with Mikal not showing up? So both things can be true, that you can hold off hope that he becomes that playoff player that you know him to, but also to Lee's thing of like, no, the picks frustrate me because of how he's operated when we see him 90% of our experience as a Knicks fan in the season. It is mostly the season, then a little bit of the playoffs. Before we go to the next topic, I do want to show this real quick.
And Apollo had a take on this too.
Yeah, real quick. We've had an image for a while that you guys have seen of me and Apollo, but Al is not just the guy that came on the show anymore. Like, this is our family. So this is now the new, come on, where you at? This is the new switching and sipping. All right. So we got our guy Al up in that drink with it now. Man. All right, this is the new swishing and sipping that we got. So next season, the stickers will look like this. And then on top of that, we also want to share this real quick. And this is, we want to keep things on brand. So after talking for a long time, me and Jay Ellis, at first it was Phil's show that Apollo, was a co-host on. Then it was Phil and Apollo, and Al was another co-host. I don't see it that way. This is my family. This is my squad. You don't need to just see a cartoon of Phil anymore. This is our new brand logo for the Knicks Nightcap. So you will see, all of our merch and everything like that coming in the summer and the off season will look like this. This is our squad. This is our team. This is not Phil's show. This is our show. So
chat, are y'all feeling the logo? Are y'all feeling the new stickers with all the guys? Like, tell us in the chat how y'all feeling them.
Yes. So before we let Apollo go, because he's got to clean some toilets in the morning.
I hope not. I hope I ain't got to clean up daggone toilets in the morning, man. You better clean your own toilet. If you're a grown adult and you pay rent, you better not clean your toilet. All right.
All right,
I'll go
we got
off.
over 345 of you guys right now
go.
live on all of our channels. We appreciate you guys so much. Like, thank you so much for being here. But we're going to let Apollo talk on that topic real quick before we continue for the next 20 minutes with myself, Al, and B. So drop your knowledge, Apollo.
So I just wanted to touch a few notes on Macau. His last 2 games, he's a plus 46. You know what I mean? Like these numbers are crazy. That's just a crazy number. Not all picks are equal, y'all. You know what I mean? Like not everybody's situation is the same. I get what people say when they talk about the picks because of what picks usually mean. And in terms of talent, first of all, not every draft is equal. That's number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're gonna have a lot of these picks that amount to nothing. You know what I mean? Like look at Washington. They just had no, not Washington. Atlanta. They just had a number 1 pick a few years ago. That guy's not even in the starting lineup. Ricochet. He's not even in the starting lineup.
He's a
you know what I mean? So sometimes I think people get mixed up with the picks when Macau doesn't play well. And that's understandable because if you look at how many guys are ahead of Macau, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like he is the number 1 or number 2 guy. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, sometimes I think the picks get overblown because of what picks mean generally. But to this team, with our window,
they would have been
picks,
low picks.
Yeah, they would have been low picks, and they would have been guys that if we drafted them, they would have sat on the bench anyway. You know what I mean? We got Mo on the bench, who we know how talented Mo is, and can he get any burn on his team? He can't. He can't. Yeah. So not all picks are equal. There's just so many factors when you add into how many picks we gave up for this guy. We weren't going to be playing any of those guys that we would have drafted with those picks at all. I'm sorry.
I got a question for you, Apollo.
Yeah.
When we win the championship at the parade, are you going to be wearing the Macau Bridges F them picks shirt with me?
Got to.
I will be rocking it with you, brother.
Because at that point, who could talk about picks? You got the ring. Once you get the championship,
I will never talk about picks ever again.
Never again. But that's just I just wanted to throw that in there. So it's easy to say that.
Before I let you go, I want to push back a little bit on this. Okay. And the reason I want to push back about it is because of where he is in our lineup, being the number 4, sometimes number 5 option. And the reason that people have an issue with that and him not showing up at certain points in the season is because 5 picks that are later in, the draft might seem, they're later in the draft. But what do you see more times than not? Teams package multiple drafts to then get something up front in the draft, to get something within the top 3, top 4 of a draft. And so when you look at, certain things like that, and you go, okay, that's 5 picks. That's 5 picks that they possibly could have packaged for a swap in the number 1 or number 2 of an upcoming draft. And you look at drafts like this year, specifically, you have the number 1 of AJ Dibonce, AJ Dibonce, and Darren Peterson, that are both considered possible generational talents, and you go, 5 picks could have gotten us a swap, so you have to see it both ways. You have to see it as what could have been. And because when we were in the Tibbs era, I would have completely agreed with you, which is why I had no pushback on 5 picks when Tibbs was the coach. Because I was like, no youngin's going to get any burn to even know if they're a generational talent anyway. So why do we have picks? But now we have Mike Brown, who has allowed young guys to be able to develop throughout the season. You saw clutch Diawara minutes. You saw clutch Tyler Kolek minutes where you were like, man, we had this last year and we didn't use this. That just gave us like 5 wins in a row was, going through Kolek while Brunson was down. And so that's why I understand both sides of the coin. I understand people looking and saying, okay, 5 picks don't matter. But I also understand people that go, 5 picks matter, because you bundle 5 picks for 1 pick.
So that's why I said generally it's easy to put that blanket on the topic. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, so say, first of all, those trades don't really happen. Where you trade 4 or 5 picks and you get the first pick or second pick, like no one's doing those trades anymore. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't really happen, because usually those teams that at the bottom of, you know, the barrel, they're looking for the best player. They're not trying to give up that opportunity, because that could make them so much more money. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at that, let's give a scenario where you do make that trade, right? You bundle all of those picks and you get a number 1 pick, and then you end up with a Zachary Richard. Now what do? You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't really get to judge a pick based off of just the pick. You got to see how they affect your franchise down the line. And I know for a fact Atlanta would have rather had made a different pick with that. But sometimes, like I said, I understand what it means in terms of saying that you could have packaged those, but those don't, that especially with the way the draft and tanking has changed how the draft rules and draft lottery is, you don't really get those opportunities as much as you used to. Like you look at the Pacers, we just had, I forgot, who was he? He was a Pacer fan two weeks ago.
Friday. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I know you're talking about, but anyway, we just had him on, and he was looking for he couldn't. He was like, "Listen, we might get AJ to advance the number 1 pick," and what happens? Their pick gets blown up, and they don't get a pick at all. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's hard to put all your faith in picks when you have a team that can win right now. You know what I'm saying? And like that's why I said it's hard to, not all of them are equal, because it depends on the state your team is at that given point.
And I understand that. But when you look at the top 4 teams that are in the draft right now for the top 4 picks, you have a team that has a huge decision to make at number 2. They just traded for a star. Now they have to decide, do we keep the roster that we have, or do we move one of those stars and draft that, elite player to be that? So Utah, traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. They have Kessler. They have Lauren Markkinen, So that is one of those opportunities where 5 picks for a number 2 draft could be appealing, because then they could package 5 for the number 4 pick, and it still be beneficial for them, So there's always the possibility. And so that's why I understand, where I'm not saying I completely agree with people, but that's where I understand where people get concerned with the 5 picks, because you're banking on, we did not see this in the regular season, but we're holding on to a hope that in the playoffs we see what we saw last playoffs. Thankfully we are, but that's still holding on to a hope all season long. So while you're holding on to that hope and you see 5 picks, it's understandable, when you see like the players that could be coming into the league that could change the trajectory of a team for now, but also for the future, I
have a question I have 2 questions for you, Phil.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Knicks had a first round draft pick?
Oh,
85. 85.
Second question. No. When's the last time a rookie led his team to a conference finals or the NBA finals?
I understand that, but I'm not worried. Like what I'm thinking with draft picks is, right now we are very bought in to right now, which is good.
And that's why, again, to me, it was always, I know it's a joke, but it really is F them picks, because when you're worried about picks, you're worried about the future. You're not worried about the moment. And when you're not worried about the moment, is because you feel like you have no chance to win. Because you're so worried about what we could get to win.
But when a team focuses on both,
which is where Mikal came into play.
When teams focus on both, like OKC right now has a winning team, but they also have picks galore. Like for me, I enjoy this. Like I enjoy trying to win a chip right now. But I also think about the fact that I'm 41 years old and I've bared the burden of being a Knicks fan for so freaking long. and I just brought my kids into this fandom. So for me, I look and I go, well, if we can be contenders right now and moving forward, that's appealing to me as well. So that guy may not be our right now, like Cooper Flag was not Dallas Mavericks right now, but I feel like for years to come, Cooper Flag is going to continue to be an impactful player in the NBA, for years to come. So for me, when I look at Mikal, I'm like, crap, I know he's our right now, but is he keeping us from being a right now and a tomorrow? That's my question. That's my concern. I'm thankful that he's shown up in the playoffs, so I'll bite my lip because this is what we needed him to do. So as of the playoffs, I'm like, I don't care about the picks. But I'm saying I understand people that all season cared about the picks because they wanted a today and a tomorrow New York Knicks. Because
I'm gonna cut him a little bit of bail on the way he approaches the regular season, because the regular season is such a grind, and like there's so many players that I think the way people approach the regular season is varied now. Like you see players that don't know how. Like remember Derrick Rose? He used to go ham, straight to the basket, fall all the time, and he ended up getting hurt, right? Like look at our boy Apollo Gucky Reed. Like he goes ham. That's why Mikal Bridges has 2 Achilles. Gucky Reed got 1 Achilles. You see what I'm saying? Like, because he knows how to manage his workload, and he can show up when it's most important. And like, look at the guy that everyone tries to trade him for, Giannis. He looks like he's having a hard time like navigating his body and getting through the grind of an 82-game season. And now, what if we get? And this was my thing with trading for Giannis. We trade for Giannis, he gets hurt. Our championship window is gone, right? So like you gotta I want to shoot him a little bit of bail for taking care of himself and being ready to deliver in the playoffs, because that's when it matters most. And every time that the Knicks were playing bad in the regular season, there was all the optimistic Knicks fans that were like, yo, none of this matters. Like, we're just getting ready for the postseason. And I was like, yo, like you can't just switch on the switch in the postseason. The Knicks have done that. They have done that. And I'd rather deal with Mikal regular season if I'm going to get this Mikal postseason.
I like that comment. That's
where I agree. That's where I agree. I'll deal with Mikal mediocrity if it means Mikal is all-star caliber in the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, we have enough talent to get us to the playoffs. But Apollo, I know you got to go. So before we go to the last topic, I'll let you say your goodbyes. Let everyone know where they can follow you.
You can find me Guard Up Knicks everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. And even Instagram. Even I don't post on Instagram anymore. Maybe I should start doing that. But anyway, thank y'all, man. Shout out to you, Phil, Al, B, and Little B with the audition today. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to y'all, man. Yeah, let's we probably won't talk until after the first game. After the first game.
Word.
Yeah,
so maybe the first 2 games.
Next, you can take a few days off. That's going to game 7. You can take it.
I think so too.
Yeah, letting everyone know next week will be on Wednesday night. So we will be here Wednesday night. Apollo, we'll see you there. I'll obviously talk to you before then. But appreciate you, bro. You have a great night.
Salute to y'all, man.
Have a good night, bro.
All right, reminder, everybody, we got these Payback is a Mitch shirts on our Etsy store right now. Do us a favor, please support the KOT channel. Pick one of those up tonight. We know payday is tomorrow, so
we'll
let you guys know.
Intellect getting paid tomorrow. I know my guy Real Ham getting paid tomorrow. Wolverine getting paid tomorrow.
Yeah, so use code SWEEP to make sure you get a discount. But we would truly appreciate the love and support as we're trying to do more things to be creative, to be able to provide for the network and everything like that. Letting everybody know, if you are watching right now, there's over 355 of you across multiple channels that are rocking with us. We appreciate you. We will be doing a watch party in Tampa, Florida. We are unsure of the date right now because obviously we're waiting on the schedule to be officially announced. So ignore the date on the flyer I'm about to show you. But this is a rough draft of the flyer. All right. So it's at a spot called Gas Bars, which is
Tough.
absolutely incredible. So this is the flyer right there. If we go against Cleveland,
That's super
and
tough.
this is the flyer right there. If we go against the Pistons, we have multiple sponsors, so we will be selling some raffle tickets that'll help with the channel and paying our StreamYard and all that fun stuff. We got New York NYK all day. They'll be donating a Jalen Brunson shirt. Mathematics Apparel
Nice.
will be donating 2 shirts and a jersey that represents your borough. So whatever borough you're from in New York, it'll have that on the front of the New York jersey, as well as whatever number you choose. NBA Economy will have multiple Jalen Brunson bobbleheads. We also got confirmation tonight from Gusto NYC. They'll be donating
They
a
make
dope
sick stuff.
New York City hat, New York Forever hat,
Sick.
and New York Knicks colors, as well as Bacher Backpages that has donated 3 shirts with them and Tom
Wow.
Kuntz that was on the show last week. So we have multiple things that'll be donated. So we would appreciate anyone that's in Florida to come out, hang out with me and Al at that watch party. It's going to be a blast. So last things I want to talk about with you two before we head out, because it is 10:22, is going into, well, first, I don't even want to play the video. I just want to dead this conversation real quick. We saw a video that talked about how if we do not win the finals this year, that we should trade Mikal Bridges for LeBron James. And it made me lose all credibility for that person. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not trading LeBron James for a regular season Mikal Bridges. Okay? Because at least a regular season Mikal Bridges knows how to stop somebody from taking the layup. All right? The new version of LeBron James does not. So there's no way I'd be trading that for Mikal Bridges. So anyone in the chat that is in support of trading for LeBron James, do me a favor. Unfollow us, delete your Twitter account, delete your Facebook, your Instagram, and anything where you have a voice, because your voice should not be spoken. All right. We do not want LeBron James coming to the New York Knicks and trying to get credit for what we've put in this hard work season. So forget that. What I do want to talk about with you, Al, and with B before we go is, are there any preferences on who we play in this next round? Do you have a preference of the Cavaliers or the Pistons? I'll go with you first, Al.
I actually prefer the Cavs because I think it's gonna go 7, and I think that the Cavs will be way more worn down than the Pistons. Like Harden, we will hunt him so bad. Like he's looking like Embiid out there. Like he can't play a lick of defense. Like I've been watching the games, and Detroit is hunting him. Like Jenkins been hunting him. Like Cade has been hunting him. He cannot play defense at all. And so he will be barbecue chicken for us. And then we just got to load up on they got one scorer, man. We just got to load up on Donovan Mitchell, and their bigs are going to be spent, and their bigs, when they look at our bigs, they already know that they can't contend. That the mental battle is going to be won before the series even starts, and they are going to be exhausted. It's going to be something similar to like how the Philly series was. Like they obviously have a little slightly deeper bench, but they are going to be equally as tired. I know other people think that it'd be easier to take on the Pistons, but I think, look, again, Harden, he's been known to be a playoff folder. Like he does good in like the first 2 rounds, and then he always folds in the last round or whatever round he gets eliminated in. And there's no reason to think that that's going to change this year when he's older and he looks as old as he looks. Like he looks older than LeBron James right now, the way he's moving on the court. He's had some good games, but when you look at him on the defensive end, he's barbecue chicken. He is a cone, and we will destroy him and pick him apart. So I think that we could cook Cleveland. So I want Cleveland. And I wanted to go 7, even though I'm out here fiending like the Dave Chappelle meme. Like, you got any more of them Knick games, man? Like, this is going way too long without a Knick game. Who else, in the chat? Are y'all fiending for Knick games or what, man? How long? It feel like it's been a month since I had a Knick game, man. I need one, man. Come on.
All right, B. Any preference on who we have in the finals? Eastern Conference Finals.
Actually now I do. At first, the past few days, come here, sweetheart. The past few days I've been like, it doesn't matter either or. Bring me one of them because I felt that they were.
Oh, I think it don't matter either. We beating both of them.
But I think the now that I'm watching the way the series is going, I would prefer the Cavs because I know a lot of people. We're so hungry for a championship, so everybody keeps wanting the easier route, of course. But what happened last year, kind of haunted us. We felt that. Oh, we got the Pacers now? We're going to the finals then because this is a team we already beat the Boston Celtics. And I think that Detroit was a little bit aggressive and more tougher than these Pacers. And we got our asses beat.
Yeah.
And I think with the way the first 2 rounds went, I would prefer us to actually become battle tested finally if we again want to get to the finals and win the finals. The remaining teams on the West aren't teams that you could take lightly, whether even be Minnesota. You can't, I don't think that they're going to get there at this point with the Spurs and the way OKC's playing. But you can't take those teams where you lose 1 or 2 games and you still think you might win the series because every game is going to be very important against the West. With the teams that are remaining, I think there's certain teams in the West that are very beatable. But the Spurs and OKC are very battle. Well, I wouldn't say the Spurs yet, but OKC is extremely battle tested. They already won a championship, and they had they've been hunted all year because of that. So if we want to be tough in the finals, I think that this is where we finally get a tough opponent, and I think that the Cavs bring that. I think again they don't have enough to beat us, but they do have 2 bigs, a nice big front court, which we haven't faced in the first 2 rounds. First 2 rounds, centers were irrelevant, which is why Kat and Mitch were able to barbecue chicken, even though Joel, but we still swept them, obviously. They have a backcourt with 2 stars that, they might struggle, but I think that they will have a couple good games that might pull out the win. So I would like for us to finally be tested, and I think the Cavs give us the best opportunity with that. I think Detroit at this point is just not deep enough. I think they don't close out games very well. I think that's another opponent that's waiting to get a 40-point win for us. I think we can still get that with the Cavs possibly, but I think Detroit, that was a clean sweep. And I know it'd be fun to have another sweep, but it's not going to be fun when you think everything's all gravy. Then we get to the finals and we get our asses handed to us because we thought that the playoffs has been so easy for us. So I would like for us to just be battle tested. So Cleveland is my best look for me right now.
All right,
that's a great point. One thing to piggyback on her point is in the West they got a big front court too. Whoever comes out of the West,
exactly.
So it'd be good to go up against a big front court as
really
as like a practice or whatever, if you will, for the next the finals. So
and they both
extremely
have really
good points.
Front court. Backcourts. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So I believe you cooked, but I'm gonna push back a little bit on that take, just for fun. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to Jose Alvarado having his own kicks come out, reviving and won.
Those are fire.
Collaborated with the professor, and he's dropping these. These are fire. They're supposed to actually debut on his feet in the next round of the playoffs. I love them. Absolutely love them. Like I would love to pick up that blue pair.
Is he signed with N1?
Like the blue ones? Yeah,
he's putting these out with N1.
I was thinking this was my logical thought, but I'm like, is Leon getting our boys eaten? Because I don't think he had a sneaker deal before he was in there.
He did not. No, he didn't. He definitely didn't.
He didn't.
Paid on the Knicks.
So I love that. So here's where I agree, but I also want to say why I would rather have Detroit. And the reason that I would rather have Detroit is, first, I feel like we fare better against Detroit with this new way of basketball that we've had. And I want to battle test it because Detroit wiped the floor with us all season long. Mm-hmm. And to show that this new way of playing basketball for the Knicks is actually winning basketball, to test that is to go against the team that beat us every single game in the regular season. And when it comes to the Cavaliers, besides James Harden, that's a team we've already conquered. Okay, like as they are with Donovan Mitchell as the star. And we've seen that Jalen Brunson, even when he goes match for match against Donovan Mitchell, he's been the one to rise to the occasion and win. But when it comes to Cade Cunningham this season, when him and Jalen Brunson have gotten tick for tack in battle, Cade Cunningham has proven to be the elite point guard when it comes to those two.
Agreed.
And so this to me is a test, because what's one thing that me and Lee have said that has been the kryptonite for Jalen Brunson all season with Cade Cunningham is that when a team has their star as a point guard, Jalen Brunson reverts back to old ways of trying to make it a one-man show and compete against that other point guard. Yeah. I'm hoping that Jalen Brunson has realized how great of basketball we have played in these two series where he doesn't need to do that. And he can go up against the Pistons and prove that he doesn't need to do that for us to make it to the next series. Because in my opinion, the finals will be us versus OKC. And who's the star in OKC? SGA, the point guard. And that's where Jalen Brunson typically struggles taking a back seat to team basketball, is when the other team's star is a point guard. So if he can prove that in the Eastern Conference Finals against Cade Cunningham, that it doesn't matter about Cade's numbers, I'm playing team basketball and we're going to destroy them, that prepares us for SGA, where SGA will be the star. And Jalen Brunson doesn't have to prove that it's him versus SGA, but that it's Knicks versus OKC. And I think that if he can show that in a series against Cade, he can show us that in a series against OKC.
I have confidence he would do that, because in his last presser yesterday, which I have up on the screen if you want to share or not, they specifically asked Jalen Brunson, since they asked him if, as a star, if he's bothered at all by not having the ball in his hands as the Knicks offense adapts. Like, now the ball, and they asked him if he's bothered by it, and he goes, 1, I'm not a star. 2, I want to win.
I already had it pulled up. That's crazy.
You want me to play it? It's very quick. He just says
he's playing. I'm playing it right now.
Why is that something that you would so happily go on? 1, I'm not a star. 2, I want to win.
That's your answer right there, Phil. That's all he wants to do. So, like, I would think, I would be confident that he is not going to revert back to that, because he has seen the yield that comes from getting off the ball and sharing the ball. And I think those 30-point closeout wins have been extremely loud throughout the locker room.
My whole thing is, why not battle test it?
But exactly why you want Cleveland, because Phil, you made the point of a star guard. Maxey and Donovan Mitchell and James Harden aren't that. He's having a great year, and we had that debate already. You guys already put him in the top 10 players. Cool. But you don't think that Maxey, Don, and Harden were in top 10 in their careers at some point? And could even be top 20 players
but I think right now, no one is saying that the best point guard in the East is Maxey. What they are saying is the best
Jalen Brunson is, and we have him, so we're not worried about whoever else is after him.
We say that as Knicks fans, but many have said Cade Cunningham
because they're blind, Phil. Because they're blind.
That's fine. That's fine. But you don't think that Jalen Brunson hears the same things we do? Like, when it comes to Tyrese Maxey did not deliver a all-star I'm better than Jalen Brunson performance in the playoffs.
No, exactly. But I'm saying, what my point with that was saying was that
he would have reverted to it.
The only challenge that Detroit give us is Cade Cunningham, and when you stop him with Mikal or OG, then what is Detroit preparing us for?
That's what I'm saying, though. Like,
nothing.
if Jalen Brunson, because we had Mikal and OG in the season, and it was still a tick for tack. If you watch those games back and forth, In the fourth quarter, it became Cade Cunningham versus Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter. That's what it came down to.
What
In
games?
most
Last
games.
year's
No,
playoffs?
this season.
Ask Detroit what the regular season means in the playoffs.
I know it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is we lost those games because it was a tick for tack. You cannot tell me that SGA is not going to be SGA in the finals. Okay?
SGA is, if we actually look, have you seen SGA against the Lakers series? He don't win that series without Chet.
I know that.
He's been playing okay. He hasn't been playing the way Jalen Brunson's been playing.
But he's still known as their best player.
No, absolutely. I
And
won't
that's
take away
when
from
Jalen
SGA.
Brunson gets a chip on his shoulder, is when the other team's point guard is considered their best because he wants to prove that he's the best on the court. When it's someone else that's not the point guard on the court, Jalen Brunson doesn't overprove himself. That's a fact. Like when they go against the Nuggets, Jalen Brunson don't take it in the back.
So do you think that Jalen Brunson is worried about a guy he already eliminated last year, or he's worried about eliminating a guy that won a championship and an MVP and might win again an MVP? So he doesn't care who's in his way to get there. So I don't think that it matters if we get Cade or Donovan or Harden. I think he's worried about knocking Shea off his pivot.
I
and
understand
he will do whatever to get to that point. So
I understand
wouldn't see that Brunson will revert back to anything, whether it be Cade
Donovan
or
Mitchell,
Donovan.
Donovan Mitchell has never been considered in the Eastern Conference as the better point guard than Jalen Brunson. In the times that they've gone against each other.
Hey, and if he does revert to that, we know his dad is going to slap him out of that. And Mike Brown, that's the job of the coaching staff.
What I'm saying is, regardless of who we play in the Eastern Conference Finals, there is one player that is considered in the top 4 for MVP that is a point guard, and that is SGA, not Jalen Brunson. Okay?
Yeah.
And so if he's going to go up against a player that is considered a better point guard than him, I would rather prepare him for that by playing another point guard that they have considered better than him in the East, so that he can make sure that he is locked into team basketball. So going into the finals, he's already fully locked into team basketball.
But I think B's argument was that Mikal
But would you rather a single player be battle tested or your team be battle tested? Because I don't think Jalen Brunson has to prove anything to Cade Cunningham.
So
he would eliminate him twice, and then what? What do we?
I would say team battle tested, because if I look at the season, we struggled as a team against the Pistons. We didn't struggle as a team against the Cavaliers. And Mitchell Robinson knows that he can steal the lunch money of Jared Allen and Lopez.
And what do you think he's going to do to Duran?
This season, but he hasn't this year yet. That's why I'm saying prove it now. We already know what we can do.
We don't have to prove anything to Detroit. There's nothing we need to prove to Detroit or Cavs. We beat both teams with Tom Thibodeau and less than we have now. We don't have. We have to prove to the OKC or the Spurs that, again, because we can also say this. We can also say, oh, we beat the all regular season, so I want the Spurs in the finals because we beat them. That doesn't matter. You don't think the Spurs want to bust our ass for doing exactly that, what we did to them, for taking the NBA Cup for them, for sweeping them? Or I think we've lost one game, but we beat the majority of the games.
We should have swept them. Yeah.
That's a team that wants us bad. And that's why, again, we got our ass beat by Detroit in the regular season. So I wouldn't factor in, I only would factor the playoffs with the teams that are left. And with OKC being left, I think that Brunson, he didn't come this far to come this far again. This is the type of player that Mamba mentality. Like we see it already. He wears the sneakers. He idolizes it. He's a Virgo. That's my Virgo brothers. Like same thing with Karl Anthony Towns. Like these are guys that understand that if we fall short again, we don't know how big this window may be. And this is the closest that we've gone, and that we could get to getting to a finals. Again, I don't know how the finals may go yet, but I do know we can reach it if these are the two teams that are left in the East aside from ourselves.
Oh, I believe either team will rise to the occasion. I just think we get more prepared for what we're going to see against OKC if we play against the Cavaliers. I mean, if we play against
Detroit.
Against Detroit, because I feel like in the playoffs, we already know that Mitchell Robinson and Cat down. the Cavaliers. We know that. We know that they can. We struggled against the Pistons. And so us proving that we can bullet through the Pistons prepares us more so for that. Because last
We're gonna
season,
sweep the Pistons. How does that
I would
prepare
hope
us?
so. That would be even more fuel. That would be more fuel
Their
to our
second
fire.
best player yesterday was Jenkins. Again, that was cool in the regular season, but that cannot be your best player in the playoffs. And you can't have Tobias Harris, kind of like a CJ and a Paul George. These are guys that if in the early 2020s, if you had these guys, cool, even in the end of the 2010s. But the fact that we're in 2026 and you're asking guys like Tobias Harris, Paul George, and freaking CJ McCollum to help you win series?
Yeah.
Come on, Phil.
I understand. But what I am saying is if this whole season is about overcoming, okay, and doing things that we could not do, okay, Detroit was the better team all year, okay? We have proven that even when we didn't have everybody healthy, that we can go through a certain team in Cleveland. We've seen that. Like, we know that. They added James Harden, which is, like, are you serious? Come on. Like, really? Like, I felt like Darius Garland was more of an issue for us than James Harden. When I look at the trajectory of where we're going, the only thing that kept us losing 2 games in that Hawks series was pride coming in and in that fourth quarter, putting it in his hands instead of the team's hands. Let's test the new way of the Knicks playing, going up against a team that has a star point guard, because we will most likely play a star point guard in the finals. We don't have to agree, but that's my opinion on that, because I really think that our kryptonite can be a certain player, whether it's Jalen Brunson or Cat or OG, making it about themselves as opposed to the team, which has shown us to blow out teams when we play team basketball. And that's what I want to see moving into the finals. And that's why I think if we play Detroit and we play that way, it prepares us to beat a star-centered one-man team and show that team basketball can beat that.
OKC is not a one-man team.
Jalen Brunson's
I was
old
gonna
way.
say they're not a one-man team. They're not a one-man band man.
Come on. Who else is an offensive threat besides Cade?
Chet.
No, I'm talking about OKC.
Isaiah Joe. Who's it? AJ Mitchell? Everybody's calling this 2.0 Jalen Brunson.
Chet, first of all, Chet killed us one of the games that they played against us.
Yeah.
Chet,
but here's the thing. I'm not worried about Karl Anthony Towns making it about Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not worried about OG making it about OG. I'm not worried about Mikhail making it about Mikhail. Because we haven't seen that.
I don't think you should be worried about Jalen Brunson. I think that he gets that. We haven't seen him relapse yet. I think he gets that it has to be about Karl Anthony Towns. And it has to be about Mikhail and OG just as much as it is about him.
But why not test it in the semis before we get to the finals? Why not? Let's see what he does. He has not played a star.
I think if you combine James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, you get Cade Cunningham. I think those. I think they're together. They're just,
and he already had Maxey, and he didn't revert to it. So,
but Maxey didn't rise to the occasion. Like, he just didn't.
Oh, okay.
But why did not Maxey rise to the occasion? You have to put in the why. The why was because Mikal Bridges.
Yes, and I agree with that. But I believe that if he would have risen to the occasion, we would have seen some possibilities of him versus JB in clutch moments.
So what makes you feel that Cade Cunningham won't shut down? You think that Cade Cunningham won't get shut down by OG or Mikal?
I don't know. We didn't lock him down all season.
So you're saying if Cade Cunningham or if Maxey was going off crazy, that there was more potential for Brunson to revert back to that hero-centric ball, go mano y mano, a lo Rucker Park, back and forth with Maxey or with Cade or with SGA, because they are cooking. They would throw us our game. Okay, now I understand what you're saying.
If you look back at all the games this season where we're like, yo, AB, what are you doing? This is close. Why are you going tick for tack with Luka? Why are you going tick for tack with Cade? Why are you going tick for tack? It was him versus a point guard. Him versus TJ McConnell. We lost to the Indiana Pacers in the fourth quarter. The Indiana freaking Pacers, who were the bottom of the barrel, because it was him versus TJ McConnell in the fourth quarter. So, yes, like looking at what I saw in the season, I want to test that before the finals.
I think that's valid. Valid.
Either way, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Like always, thank you guys for being.
I'm always gonna have a nice debate with you, Phil.
I love debating with you. It's fun. Shout out to Pursuit Spirits for this awesome, beautiful whiskey that they sent for us to be part of. We thank you guys so much for being part of the episode. Shout out to my girl B for being on the episode. B, let everybody know where they can find you. Oh,
B froze. Oh, you're back.
And I'm having some refreshing water, by the way. I just want to share that with you guys.
That's good. You got your daughter like chilling with you. It's all good. It happens.
Say go Knicks.
Go Knicks.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Where can they support and find you, B?
Who me? Again, if you don't see me on Twitter, it's 40 Spice. SPORTY
I love it. Make sure you lock into the KOT show every after post-game show. B is on there dropping bars all the time. And thank you to the 370 plus of you that are still rocking with us at 10:47 at night. Like that means a lot to us. Subscribe, hit that like button, let somebody know about the channel. Al, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yo, I'm Al from Harlem on all socials. You can find me. I'm heavy on Twitter, and I've actually been doing a lot more on Instagram. I've been focusing a lot more on my Instagram content, so you could definitely catch me on Instagram. But on the KOT YouTube show, I have 2 shows that I'm on. I'm on this show, the Knicks Nightcap, and I'm also on Knicks Life Crisis. We will be going live on Friday, 5 p.m. So tune in for that next show.
Awesome. I love it. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Support these guys. If you are someone that is an adult, that you are loving the Knicks, but you're also balancing what it's like to enjoy the beauty that is parenting, this is a great show to lock into. Like, I love talking Knicks, but there is no joy like being a mother or a father. Like, there is no joy. The Knicks can disappoint you at times. Being a parent cannot. Like, that is a joy that is there 24/7. So shout out to B for being an amazing single mother, someone that we at the KOT show look up to and we support with all of our heart. Like, she is incredible. Her daughter has an amazing mother that is stepping in and doing all the work that should be done by 2 people, but she is making sure that her daughter does not feel that lack because she steps in ways that are unspeakable. So shout out to her. Shout out to Al and Ra on their show, showing what it's like to be a parent, and also love these New York Knicks. So until next time, if you drink responsibly, never get behind the wheel, never do anything stupid. Hey, you. Hey, you. We all love you. You know that? We all love you.
Bye, Phil. Bye, Al.
Bye, Phil. Bye, Al.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Raquel, bye.
Say Jalen.
Ross.
She knows.
Oh, yeah, she knows. That's what's up.
So by the next time we talk, we will at least have 1 game under our belt. So we can't wait to be here. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Subscribe. Support KOT. Until next time.
Let's go Knicks.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling.